Fox Sports.
We are the Fox. We are Florida.
Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. This is the end of the line, so to speak. A four-gamer, 2 in Miami, 2 in the Bronx. D. Gordon and the Fish getting set to take on the Yankees. The Marlins won the first 2 in Miami. Yankees won a close one last night. 2 Hall of Famers meeting in center field. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, Carl Pavano joins us tonight along with Tommy Hutton. This has been fun. A little American League, National League, Marlins, and Yankees.
Yeah, it's always great coming here, especially with all the mystique, getting to go through Monument Park. I know everyone enjoys that.
Yeah, I think it's been fun for the guys on the field that have never been here. It's been fun for us. We've never been to this new ballpark.
History. The Marlins might be, ringside to see what could be a historic night. Alex Rodriguez is just 3 hits away from 3,000. The last to get to 3,000 was Derek Jeter here in this ballpark. Carl, it's still, though, an odd juxtaposition of a great achievement, and yet there's still this, I don't know, here around the Yankees.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of tarnish that coming in with what happened to him last year, but it just goes to show what a successful and long career he's had. And, he might not get it this series, but he's going to get the opportunity. And last night he shows how good his hands are. I mean, with pitches off the plate, how he handles them.
Yeah, there are a couple of things to look at. If he gets to 3,000, he'll be the 29th player to do so. He had a couple of hits last night, and you can see what he was trying to do. They were actually both pretty good pitches, just trying to go up the middle and get some hits. He also walked 2 times to show everybody that he does have a good idea right now at the plate.
2,997 hits for Alex Rodriguez. He's in the lineup. He's hitting third tonight. He'll be facing Matt Latos, and boy, coming off the disabled list, it was a very different Matt Latos the last time out.
Yeah, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball definitely plays a lot different than when he was not feeling great in the beginning of the year. He was only throwing 90-91. I mean, you could see the angle and the ball carrying through the zone at 6'6" with that angle and his secondary pitches at 95. His margin for error is a lot greater, which will make him more successful.
First ever appearance, too, for Matt Latos against the Yankees. So there are a few guys that have never seen him. Now, there are some that have.
Yeah, so Latos takes aim at the New York Yankees. Now, you got 2 war horses here, don't you? Latos obviously younger than his opponent tonight. His opponent tonight is the guy that's never faced the Marlins, and that's CC Sabathia. Sabathia's not what he used to be, but he's still an imposing figure out there.
And he has a good defense behind him, which is what he needs right now. But he's got all the numbers behind him. He just has to go out there and be consistent. He has lost velocity, which leaves his margin for error down, but he's picked up a changeup, a sinker. He's definitely a craftier pitcher now.
Yeah, that's a good point, Pappy. That margin of error has hurt him this year because he doesn't have the stuff that he once had. He gets in trouble if he makes a mistake. He doesn't have that swing and miss stuff or that foul off stuff. He gets hurt with something over the plate, but you know what? He's still a competitor and a terrific pitcher.
Guys, there was a point in last night's ball game. In fact, it was at the end of the ball game where Jeff Mathis came to the plate, and the reason being JT Realmuto's back. He was unable to play last night. So the Marlins have made some moves. They have DL'd Martin Prado, and they've brought Jonathan Solano up, at least for a couple of games. They've brought him up, Tommy.
Yeah, that's mainly a protection to JT Realmuto. We didn't see JT last night. Just a little tweak, something that bothered him in spring training a little bit. So just in case he's not able to go, at least there's another catcher on hand.
We're glad that you're on hand tonight. Maybe some history tonight. Maybe you'll see a 3,000 hit, or maybe you'll see a Marlins win as the Fish try to take the series from the Yanks in the Bronx. It's Miami and New York. Baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Toyota, by AutoNation. Save on over 70,000 vehicles now. Visit AutoNation.com. And by Coral Springs Auto Mall across the street from the Coral Square Mall. We make it easy. Yankee Stadium as the Marlins and the Yankees finish things off in the Bronx. It is Thurman Munson bobblehead night. The Munson family is here, and his widow throwing out the first pitch. Always a warm moment when the Munsons are back at Yankee Stadium. Brian McCann doing the honors. From one catcher to another. Jan Lexus brings you Miami's lineup. D. Gordon's in the leadoff spot. Adeiny Echeverria is up in the 2 spot. Christian Yelich is in left. Giancarlo Stanton hits cleanup. You see the June numbers that he has posted. Marcell Ozuna in center field with the lefty. Jeff Baker is the designated hitter, and Justin Bour gets the start at first base. Donovan Solano is in there at third base. Jeff Mathis will do the catching. Mathis hits 9th. CC Sabathia is 34. This is start number 14 for the big guy.
You know, Rich, he's only had one career start against the Marlins at Pro Player. Didn't last long, an inning and a third. He has beaten every other major league team, all 29 teams, with the exception of the Marlins. So CC Sabathia, who doesn't throw as hard as he used to, but he has at least made that transition. He knows what he has to do to win without the stuff that he once had.
So Sabathia climbs the hill. D. Gordon getting in the box. And the Marlins and the Yankees get ready to play under some threatening skies. Chance of rain a little later on. Out in the right field bleachers, fans on their feet as they traditionally do here at Yankee Stadium. And D. Gordon takes pinch penny, brings you that first pitch. It's a ball, and it's 1-0. Sabathia is still a large man, 6'7", 285.
It's like, Rich, one of those heavyweight fights. And Carl Pavano, too. You're with us tonight. That's great. You can talk a little pitching. But, yeah, you got 6'7", 290, Sabathia. You got 6'6", about 240 for Matt Latos.
They like to draft them tall, especially for pitchers.
Gordon takes a strike, and it's 2-1. You can hear the chants out in right field, the traditional chants here at Yankee Stadium. The crowd chanting for acknowledgement. They will chant a player's name until that player acknowledges him with a tip of the cap. Didi Gregorius was the last guy up. Fans are smart, though. They know not to chant during the pitch. Here's the 2-2. From Sabathia, and Gordon hits a one-hopper backhanded by Drew, and he gets the out at first. BMW brings you the Yankee defense.
Well, it's a defense that's committed 46 errors, but a terrific play by Stephen Drew there. You have Gardner, Williams, and Beltran. That's Mason Williams in center. Headley and Gregorius on that left side. Stephen Drew, you saw the play he made. Mark Teixeira back in the lineup. He's won Gold Gloves, and Brian McCann behind the plate.
Adeiny Echeverria with Christian Yelich third. Echeverria, good numbers against lefties. And Dan Jennings working with a banged-up lineup and a banged-up bench. And so Echeverria slides up in the 2 spot.
It's nice to have that versatility, though. And here's a guy that puts the ball in play. So in the 2 spot's a good spot from the 8 spot for him.
And you would think, guys, if Echeverria continues the progress that he's made offensively, this is the spot where he may end up permanently.
Yeah, it really depends on the situation in the lineup, the makeup of the lineup. A lot of times who's pitching.
Well, CC elevates a fastball, and he strikes out Echeverria.
Tommy, that sure seems like a heavy fastball, doesn't it? Just carries through the zone, even at 89.
Yeah,
90.
Yeah, there's an example, too, of That pitch for CC Sabathia at one time was 93-94.
Yep.
But because he's able to hit his spots, he got away with that 89-mile-an-hour fastball. It was up.
Especially being elevated, yes.
Christian Yelich broke up the no-hitter last night. Michael Pineda had it going on into the 7th inning. Yelich homering to right center field. This was last night.
Well, it's good to see that smooth swing of Christian Yelich, home run number 4 on the year.
Yelich a 2-hopper out to Stephen Drew. Flips on over to first and gets the out. CC Sabathia 1-2-3 first. Matt Latos takes the ball next. Jessica Blaylock is not in New York, but we will see her when we return for a long homestand. Instead, along with Tommy Hutton, Carl Pavano, Rich Waltz with you. And here come the Yankees, monuments and retired numbers and all. Brought to you by JM Lexus. Brett Gardner in left, Chase Headley at third. Alex Rodriguez needs 3 to get to 3,000. Maybe that happens tonight. Mark Teixeira in the cleanup spot. Brian McCann will do the catching. Carlos Beltran hits 6th. D.D. Gregorius, the shortstop. Stephen Drew, 8th. Mason Williams, young center fielder, slotted 9th. And this is Matt Latos.
You really have to disregard the overall numbers of Matt Latos. Just go back to his last start. He was just outstanding against the Rockies.
Anytime you deal with the legs, as you know, Tommy, Rich, those are the strongest, muscles in your body, and it's tough to pitch, hit, run without, having those at full strength. And I think that little break is going to do him really good. You can tell the ball coming out of the hand really well.
That downward plane really noticeable in the start against Colorado, a start in which he went 7 innings, struck out 11, and walked just 2. That was the Latos that was an ace in San Diego, a top-of-the-rotation guy in Cincinnati. Liner to left. And Brett Gardner is aboard. Around first, he'll hold there. And the Yankees have their leadoff man on.
So check on that defense, brought to you by BMW. Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton in the outfield. Donovan Solano with the start is at third base. Echeverria and D. Gordon up the middle. Justin Bour, the first baseman. Behind the plate is Jeff Mathis, and the DH is Jeff Baker. There's Donovan.
You know what's great about that last start for the Marlins, looking at it, they know it's there. Some guys can't reach back and get to 95, even if they wanted to. So you know it's there. It's just about keeping him strong.
A strike to Chase Headley.
Got to be alive with Gardner, has 15 stolen bases. Yankees don't run a whole lot with Gardner, one of their main guys. So is Jacoby Ellsbury when he comes back from the DL.
Yeah, they're little pests out there trying to get to second, mess the rhythm up of Latos, try to steal a bag.
Against the shift, Headley pokes it through to left. Marlins had brought Echeverria almost back of seconds. Was Solano way off the line at third, and Headley found the spot that was open.
And Pavy, it actually looked like a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, he fought off a really good fastball. Maybe, for a left-handed hitter, sometimes you want to elevate it just a little more because those guys like to be down and in, but I'll take that pitch 9 times out of 10. And, if the fielders are in a different position, it's a double play.
Well, here's Alex Rodriguez. And for Rodriguez, this could be a historic night. Matt Latos would rather it come this weekend when the Marlins are in Cincinnati.
2 Florida natives facing off right here.
Yes, they are. Coconut Creek and Miami. Latos also pitched at Broward Community College. And Alex Rodriguez takes outside. No at-bats against Latos. The last of 3,000 hits was Derek Jeter. That was June 9th, 2011.
And he did it on a home run. How about that fashion?
Kind of that flair that Derek Jeter had his entire career.
Very fitting for him to have his 3,000th hit as a homer. Pretty cool.
Two-0 pitch. And Rodriguez fouls it back. Tommy, last night you described Alex Rodriguez as a smart hitter, a guy that if you make a mistake, he'll punish it.
Yeah, and he also has had a knack over the years setting up pitchers, getting in that count where he has a good idea of what's coming.
Yeah, when you're a student of the game like him, his anticipation is second to none. He's almost seen so much tape on some of these pitchers, he could predict when they're going to get into their route, whether they're going to stay in, stay away. He's pretty solid.
On the other hand, if Matt Latos can make a pitch and get Alex Rodriguez to hit a ball on the ground, he doesn't run well anymore. The Marlins can turn 2.
Count is 2-1. Latos has given up a couple singles. Crowd still arriving. Last night, a large and loud crowd for a 2-1 Yankee win. Into center, it's a hit. Gardner scores. And Alex Rodriguez is 2 hits away from 3,000.
There's a great example of the plate discipline he has. I mean, there's a 2-1 slider on the black that he doesn't try to pull. Most guys try to pull off that. And you get the double play that you want. He hits it up the middle just like he did yesterday. And they score Gardner from second.
You almost get the feeling that he's just trying to get base hits. He's not worried about driving the ball into the gap. All 3 of his base hits in this series, the 2 last night, and this one, right up the middle.
On pitches down and away, too, where more times than none, guys try to pull those, and you get the ground ball you need.
3 singles, now Teixeira. And obviously, Teixeira has the power to knock one out of here. 18 home runs. He homered down in Miami. A ball that if he were to hit it here would be over the Yankee bullpen in right center field. Up over that Toyota sign.
There couldn't be a better stadium for this guy to have played in, though. I mean, he's a pull hitter, loves going out and hooking balls, and that right field is, with his power, that's a small porch for him.
Matt Latos trying to shut it down. If anybody knows what can be done in a first inning, the Marlins did it the other night against the Yankees. 8 runs on 9 hits.
Teixeira high and deep. Ozuna with room. Both runners tag. Ozuna makes the catch. Rodriguez will hold first, and scampering to third is Headley. So a long out for out number 1 in the first. And here comes Brian McCann. Joe Espada, the third base coach for the Yankees, former Marlin coach. There's Joey. And now McCann. Couple hits for McCann in this series. And by this series, we're talking from Monday through today. 2 in Miami, 2 here in New York. All of baseball playing these 2-2s. Everybody in action, and it's all the divisions lined up. National League East versus the American League East, the Centrals and the Wests. Kind of a very nice symmetry over the last 4 days.
Yeah, a couple of interesting notes about that. The Cubs haven't scored. Todd Frazier hasn't homered so far tonight.
It seems like every night the Todd father's hitting a big home run. Last night was a walk-off grand slam.
He's had back-to-back games, 2 home runs each in each game.
One pitch. And it's in. It's 2-1. If you're just joining us, Matt Latos has run into some first inning trouble here. 3 consecutive hits, including Alex Rodriguez's 2,998th. He is 2 away from 3,000. And there's a lot of baseball left tonight.
That was his first. He's been real careful when McCann up to this point. 2 curveballs and a cutter in, and then that was his first fastball. It was a nice fastball down and away. 2-0.
Miami's infield playing McCann to pull, so Echeverria is actually on the first base side of second. Big gap up the middle, wide of second base. In the dirt, Mathis knocks it down. And Alex Rodriguez, who got a stolen base last night, holds first. Didn't have a great read on it. Counts full, 3-2.
Well, you saw the athleticism of Jeff Mathis, how he scrambled after that ball in a hurry.
Great job keeping that ball in front of him, too. A lot of times those will squirt between the legs and the runners advance, but he kept it in front of him, which kept everyone at bay.
Time called. McCann steps out.
I'll tell you, for a big guy, Lathos has a really quick windup out of the stretch. He gets the ball to the plate pretty quick. He'll shut down the running game. Not that I don't think we have to worry too much about Alex here, but as the game goes on.
McCann knocks it foul. The Marlins saw so much of McCann as an Atlanta Brave. Remember, he broke in as a rookie as the personal catcher to John Smoltz.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh. McCann would go on to go to 7 All-Star games, win 5 Silver Sluggers, and cash in with a big contract here.
I think the other fun part of that story of Brian McCann, obviously growing up in the Atlanta area, as a Little League kid, he had Smoltz's poster in his room. Didn't he win an award, I believe, one time, and was presented the award at Turner Field by John Smoltz?
Incredible.
And then he ends up being his catcher.
Another 3-2 from Latos. He lost them, and the bags are loaded, and a dangerous hitter in Carlos Beltran is coming up.
You know what the crazy thing is as a pitcher, when you're facing so many lefties, you almost sometimes, like innings like this where they've seen a lot of pitches, you start getting predictable. So mixing it up is really important, because every guy coming up is a lefty. You can only work him so many ways with the stuff that he has. So this is a lineup that you got to navigate, especially right now.
Beltran, the switch hitter. And a strike to open the at-bat. 7 for 21 with 3 homers against Latos. Beltran has done the most damage in his career against this big right-hander. More than any of his teammates. Good breaking ball. And it's 0-2.
He's also done some damage in his career with the bases loaded. Look at that, a .314 average, 11 career grand slams.
.02 coming. And that one is fouled off of Jeff Mathis. And the Marlins can ill afford to lose another catcher. JT Realmuto is day to day with back soreness. He was not available last night. That's why Jeff Mathis hit in that 9th inning. As well, Jeff Baker was banged up a little last night. He was unavailable to hit. Baker in there tonight. And he got him. Good pitch by Latos. So Beltran goes down.
When you see numbers that we showed with bases loaded, it usually tells you, I think it might have been a changeup, usually tells you that the hitter over his career, which Beltran has been, is pretty patient. You know, he's not going to try to do too much. That's why he's had those good numbers. But Matt Latos made some good pitches and got him to go out of the zone to strike him out.
Yeah, anytime you get ahead of the hitter, you put them on the defense. And he had him out in his front foot chasing those balls in the dirt.
First pitch swinging. Didi Gregorius pops it up. Echeverria behind Solano makes the catch. And for Matt Latos, a long inning. But he gets out of it, giving up just the 1 run. Giancarlo Stanton leads it off 1-0 Yankees. Home run challenge again today. For every Marlin home run, $12,500 for prostate cancer research. And you can make a pledge by going online, homerunchallenge.org. Giancarlo Stanton against CC Sabathia. Marcell Ozuna, Jeff Baker due up as well. And Sabathia catches a corner and gets a strike.
Seven of those 24 home runs for Giancarlo against left-handers this year.
A 1-2-3 first for Sabathia. And Stanton takes down low. Giancarlo last night was 0 for 4. Remember, he homered in game 2 of this series in Miami. Got a breaking ball, and he popped it up. Teixeira, Stanton got tangled up with the catcher Brian McCann. Teixeira makes the catch. You can stay social with the Marlins and follow at Fox Marlins on Twitter, Instagram for the exclusive behind-the-scenes Miami Marlins coverage straight from the Fox Sports Florida telecast.
You know, you see with Stanton on a lot of pitchers that he doesn't face, you could see him feeling his way through the at bat instead of just being aggressive. He's got such good hands. You don't see he looked a little tentative right there through that at bat.
Actually, it looked like that pretty good pitch to hit.
Yeah.
By the way, if you check things out on Fox Sports Florida or on Instagram and Twitter at Fox Marlins, there's a lot of cool stuff from the play ball event today across from Yankee Stadium in the ballpark. Carl Pavano, you were over there. It was great to see the commissioner. The Marlins were well represented with Andre Dawson, Giancarlo Stanton, D. Gordon.
Yeah, great what Major League Baseball is doing. The Marlins, the Yankees, getting those guys over there and letting them meet the youth. They played some wiffle ball. I don't know, you guys, I'm sure everyone played wiffle ball. I mean, that was fun to watch. Kids were excited. All the players were pitching, and just a good time had by all.
Dylan Betances and Alex Rodriguez over there for the Yankees. Rob Manfred, the commissioner, was there. Good to see in Marlins Live in the feature our fearless producer John Sulzer kibitzing with the commissioner. Craig Minervini had a chat with him as well. The commissioner walks faster than Craig.
Yeah, I saw that. Craig chased him down. I thought he was going to tackle him. He started running across the field. I'm like, Craig, what are you doing? Slow down.
Here's the 2-2 that Ozuna takes out. It's interesting to watch this matchup because, as you pointed out with Sabathia, guys, both of you, he's more of a finesse guy now. He'll test your patience, and the Marlins are as aggressive swinging team as you'll find in baseball.
If you go up there as a right-handed hitter and think center field, right center, that was a good approach there. You're still going to be able to turn on his fastball.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look so far like he's going to give you that fastball too often inside.
You hear a lot, and you're right. He's only done it late in counts when guys aren't expecting it. You know, with his fastball where it is at now, guys can react to it in. They don't have to cheat to it in because he's not going to overpower you. So they could give him up on one half of the plate, and you know, like Ozuna, who has great hands. He comes in on him, all he has to do is react. He really doesn't have to sit in there.
3-2 coming from Sabathia. And Ozuna takes strike 3 call. Didn't like it. Turns and talks to the home plate umpire, Lance Barrett.
And at 90 miles an hour, that's as good a fastball as CC Sabathia is going to throw. He went up in the zone, and he got it.
That was clearly a strike.
I mean, you could see Ozuna's first move because he had thrown him away so much. He had him leaning over the plate, and he couldn't make the adjustment on that pitch up.
So Jeff Baker now. Sabathia starts him with a strike. Baker, the designated hitter for the ball game. Has 3 doubles to go along with the 3 homers. One of the victims of the slow start by the Marlins. Remember, the ball club went 3-11 before getting back on their feet. Was not a lot of at-bats and not a lot of playing time for Jeff Baker, especially with Mike Morse playing first base. To Baker's credit, though, he was still effective when called upon. Baker drives that one left center field. Williams is there, makes the catch. CC Sabathia has retired all 6 that he has faced.
With the Yankees leading 1-0, and the guys are talking about it just across the street from here, actually on the grounds of the old Yankee Stadium today. Major League Baseball and USA Baseball launching the Play Ball Initiative, getting kids back to the grassroots with widespread participation in all forms of baseball. A-Rod was there. Harold Reynolds did a great job emceeing from MLB Network. Of course, the Hawk was there with D. Gordon, Giancarlo, a couple of Yankees. The commissioner, Rob Manfredo, told me he's very happy to get this going, to remind people that, wiffle ball, two people, a plastic bat and a ball, and you can get involved. And A-Rod told me, guys, that that's how he got into baseball, by playing all those other forms, stick ball, broom ball, wiffle. Let people at a young age get attracted to baseball, stay with the game, and then play maybe on a more formal basis, and maybe not. But they had a lot of fun out there today. And what a neat thing for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, just watching all the footage of the kids, D. Gordon pitching with the wiffle ball. Pavy, where did you start? What was your first baseball memory? Was it organized? Was it in the backyard?
Yeah, a lot of it was in the backyard.
Oh.
Looks like he caught a spike.
Yeah,
right there.
like a spike caught, yeah.
Looks like he's okay, though. Yeah, started off a wiffle ball. You could almost do that anywhere. Backyard, cul-de-sacs. You see it played a lot on beaches. I mean, we just picked up games wherever we could. We had a lot of, growing up in the Northeast, had a bigger yard, so you were able to do that.
I was just thinking about it, watching D. Gordon throw that wiffle ball. His dad, Tom, had a wiffle ball curveball.
One of the best curveballs ever.
Yeah.
I played with him when he was actually the setup man here in New York. What a fun guy to watch. What a great competitor.
1-2 to Stephen Drew.
Played for a long time, too. Flash.
He had a great career.
Started off as a starter, I think, with the Royals, then closed for a number of years for Boston, then came here as a setup man. Probably over 20 years.
And that pitch Jeff Mathis held for a while, and it caught the outside of the plate. It looked like it was at the knees. Time called. Drew steps out.
You see a catcher hold a pitch for a length of time like that. He knows that he thought it was a strike. He's trying to get the umpire to buy in.
You think we'll ever be able to review that? Think there'll be a review on
I
that?
hope not. I hope not.
That could really hold things up.
Yeah, it could.
I'm sure it's talked about though. Balls and strikes. I mean, they have that in tennis electronically
on the line.
Yeah, maybe there is a time where balls and strikes will be called purely on the. I mean, the technology is here to call the strike. That's what the Fox box does.
Yeah, but who are you going to argue with?
Yeah, right.
Understand, and that's the. It's interesting. And we had this conversation with umpires. I heard someone say it feels like that. There's a lot of ejections lately. There's a lot going on between players and umpires. There were more ejections last year with replay than there were the year before. And as we were told at the start of the season, one of the reasons or the theories behind that, there are no more arguments on bases or plays at the plate, bang bangs at first base. And players and managers in the umpires' minds need a place to blow off steam. They can't do that on those plays, so it's generally centered now in that dirt area around the plate. Drew to Ozuna. And there's one out. We all need to blow off a little steam, but, we can't run down to the plate area. The Marlins and the Cardinals on Tuesday, the 23rd, at Marlins Park at 7:10. Two-piece bone-in chicken combo at any participating Popeyes location. Just present your receipt at the Marlins Park ticket office and receive 2 complimentary tickets to the game. That's on the 23rd. For more information, go to marlins.com/Popeyes today. There's Mason Williams.
Fabby, how tough is it? We're out of the first inning with Matt Latos. I always thought for a starting pitcher who goes out there and wants to get it going, establish all of his pitches, but boy, 3 straight hits in that first inning. You still don't get the feel that Matt Latos has gotten in the rhythm of this game.
Yeah, rhythm coming. Your first inning, they're not always going to be clean. But from what I saw, they hit good pitches, so that's a good sign. So as a pitcher, you could just, all right, I made good pitches. You just got to keep making good pitches. Don't change a thing. You know, he didn't get beat terribly. We got some balls up the middle, a single. Gardner goes with a pitch that's up and away. So I think you're going to see it. But one thing about the Yankees lineup is they're good at interrupting pitchers' rhythms, stepping out. You saw it with Drew, moving out. And that messes with the rhythm. And they know that his rhythm from coming off the first inning isn't very good. So they're going to add to that. This is a smart lineup in that aspect.
Yeah, Latos was able to get through that first, and the 3 consecutive hits opened the inning. Alex Rodriguez had one of those hits, and so Alex Rodriguez is 2 away from 3,000. End of the bat, Yelich in pursuit, and it bounces by him into the corner. Williams to second, and he'll hold there. Yelich almost got there. It's a short corner, and so it's not a bad place to gamble for a ball.
Let's see where this pitch is. Again, not a bad pitch, but Mason Williams strokes it the other way. Just slices it enough out of the reach of Christian Yelich. Now you got to be careful in that corner because Williams runs pretty well. You want to hold him to 2 bases, which he did.
There it is, 318 feet down the left field line, 314 to right. It gets out deeper in left than it does in right. Right is a very short porch, finally getting out to 385 in right center. Of course, the old Yankee Stadium, before the renovations in the mid-70s, was a national park in left center, and center.
Yet it was 296, I believe, down the right field line. Wow. Yeah, it was over 400 into left center.
Brett Gardner, a line drive single to open the Yankees first.
I was just thinking that this is a good opportunity to go in. These lefties, you know, Williams right there, he's out on his front foot on a sinker away and takes it to left field. You know, from a pitcher standpoint, you want guys to start trying to pull that ball, not going with it. He's worked these lefties away a lot, and they're kind of having their way. I'd like to see him come in a little more and quicken these guys up to open up that outer half.
That line drive is foul. For the Marlins, if you look at the numbers on hole, 29-38, they're in a hole right now. They are 9 under. But if you look at it going from the 3rd week in May 23rd, Miami is 13-11. They're 2 over the 500 mark from that point. If you give their 2 wins in Miami against the Yankees as a series win, they've won 6 of their last 8 series. Pulled to first, and Bohr gets there. And that includes series wins over the Cubs, the Mets, the Orioles. If you give that 2-gamer against the Yankees, and then twice they beat the Rockies in series. So there is progress.
It's almost, the analogy would be what Carl said about the pitcher Matt Latos. Made good pitches, but they got base hits. So you have to stay with that. You might lose a game or 2, but if you continue to play well, pick up a series win here. Great battle last night from Jose Urena to go 6 innings and give up just 2 earned runs.
Now Headley. And remember that shift that Miami had for Headley's at bat in the first inning. Headley knocked it through the vacant shortstop hole. It's a little more traditional infield alignment here. You've got Echeverria well towards third compared to where he was. He was almost behind the bag at second on that hit back in the first. Williams at third. And the 0-1 is low. Tommy, the Marlins are headed to Cincinnati, and you know what? The Reds were postponed tonight. Rain.
Boy, a ton of rain coming through that part of the country. That was going to be a pretty good pitching matchup, too. I think Justin Verlander, they're playing the Tigers. Verlander against Leake.
Is this Verlander's first start off the deal?
I think it's his
second.
Yeah.
And of course, now the question is what happens to the Reds rotation going into the Marlins-Reds series tomorrow night. 2-1. Headley fouls it back.
I would imagine they're not going to skip Mike Leake. He's had some good games, and I don't think they ever warmed up when he was raining the whole time.
Two balls, two strikes, two outs. And that's wide of first.
Carl, you and I were talking before the game about this lineup. A tough lineup because they have three switch hitters, some left-handers, and they have guys that are patient. That's why when you see games, the Yankees and the Red Sox, they're usually 4-hour games.
Very long. And they're set up for every situation. If they get out the starter out of there early, it's tough to do matchups with them because they're switch hitters and the way the lineup is set up.
A swing and a miss. Lato strikes out Chase Headley. And the Yankees leave a runner at third. After 2, 1-0, New York. For Echeverria. Vote Etch. Now that's a good look, Hut.
I think he may be voting right there. For Etch, for D. Gordon, for Giancarlo.
He saw the sign.
See, the Marlins cap goes very well with the dark suit.
Justin Bohr and CC Sabathia. And Bohr takes outside. Donovan Solano. Jeff Mathis will follow. Bottom third of the order for the Fish. Here in the third in the Bronx. Bohr just gets a piece of it. Now, if you've been following this baseball soap opera, so to speak, this mini-series started on Monday with a tight Marlin win, a one-run win. Alex Rodriguez receiving that big ovation in the loud Marlins Park on Monday night. Bohr trickles down the first baseline for an out. Miami won that ball game by a score of 2-1. The second night, Nathan Eovaldi, David Phelps. It was all about trading places.
Rich, how did you depict last night in the miniseries?
Well, it certainly was a scene shift, Tommy. It went from the beaches of South Florida, the red hot, or I guess I'm sorry, excuse me, white hot nightlife of South Beach, to the bright lights big city of New York. And I guess Alex Rodriguez kind of took the spotlight last night, getting 2 hits, cutting his chase for 3,000 down to 3, and he's already cut it down to 2 tonight. He has singled in his first at bat, so Alex Rodriguez is 2 away from 3,000. And folks, it's the 3rd inning, so unless something happens, he's going to get 3, maybe 4 at bats before this night is done.
A little bit of a plot twist last night with the play at the plate, which called for a review. Initial call was safe. A little chopper. Here comes Echeverria. Throw was high. Good tag by McCann, but was he or wasn't he?
Boy, that was mystery science theater right there, because the science part was having to review it in New York. They had to look at multiple angles. Echeverria and a lot of the Marlins certainly didn't agree with it. Solano swings and misses. Donovan Solano strikes out.
I'm thinking the other thing, Rich, about this series, you have the older actor, Alex Rodriguez, that hasn't had a starring role for a few years.
So, like on the soap opera, he would be the guy that says, "Can I pour you a Courvoisier?"
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he gets that meaty role. He gets that starring role. That's another way to look at it.
Alex Rodriguez is due up.
First up, next inning.
Yeah, he can get to 2.999 next inning. And who would the Marlins be? They would be like the young buck just off the beach, toweling off, as he entered the set.
Yeah, coming off the beach in a wave runner.
David Hasselhoff-looking guy.
That's great.
I mean, if we're going soap opera, we might as well go soap opera. Jeff Mathis minded fella. I will say this, if you had a chance to listen to Marlins live, Susan Waldman, longtime radio voice of the Yankees, talked about the difference between watching the Marlins and watching the Yankees, because she said in the American League East, she said, there's a lot of not old guy baseball, but station to station, older teams. And she said the Marlins are just full of energy and excitement.
Very athletic.
Yep. Built around athleticism.
There she is. Always fun to talk with her about Yankee history.
She knows the history. She's very informative because of her reporting roots.
And she's very entertaining because of her Broadway roots. CC Sabathia looks sharp tonight. He's retired all 9 that he's faced, and he has struck out 4. Jeff Mathis not so sharp. It was a strike. Here comes A-Rod. He's too shy. His lovely wife Carol enjoying the ball game, enjoying New York. I always got the biggest kick out of Claude because when I arrived in 2005, his title was Vice President of Ballpark Development. And he more than anybody did such a great job on Marlins Park.
Any questions that we ever have on Marlins Park, we usually take them to Claude.
I've got a question for both of you.
All right.
If Alex Rodriguez gets 2 more hits tonight, he has a base hit if you're just joining us, and he's too shy of 3,000. What will the reaction be like, and what will the Yankees do for him if he gets to that milestone? Because normally it's stop the game and have some recognition time, isn't it? There's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, I think the fans will react nicely. They have forgiven. They forget and forgive quickly. Fans do that. I think he'll get a good response from the fans. As far as what the Yankees do on the big scoreboard, they may put up that was number 3,000, but I don't know if they're going to do what maybe they did when Jeter got his or that we've seen in other ballparks.
Yeah, I think those are good points. He's definitely going to get a good ovation. I don't know what the displays or the congratulatory stuff that he'll get, but it's pretty incredible anytime anyone gets 3,000 hits for as long as he's played the game, and it's fun to watch.
Ichiro talking about Alex Rodriguez approaching 3,000, which Ichiro will get much closer next year, but he's saying, hey, wait a minute, don't compare, because so many of Ichiro's have been singles.
Yep.
And Alex Rodriguez 666 home runs.
So Alex is 2 away from 3,000. And he sends that one to right field. Stanton is there. And he makes the catch. So 1 out here in the 3rd. The Cardinals are coming. A St. Louis Kids Eat Free on a Wednesday, 7:10 start.
Yeah.
Cardinals are in for a 3-game set, and kids 12 and under get a coupon for a free KMV Frank, a bag of Frito-Lay chips, and a small Pepsi or Aquafina water. Go to Marlins.com. Mark Teixeira.
They had a guy on Alex's bat. They had a guy up the middle. They had D move up the middle, and he hit it to right. The game of baseball.
The 1-0 to Teixeira. That's Echeverria venturing to his left, and flips on over to first to get the out.
This is exactly what Matt Latos would like to have. Nice 1-2-3 inning. He's got the first 2 outs.
Brian McCann coming up.
Those quick outs are great as a pitcher, especially for that second out. Coming to the bottom, the bottom half of the lineup right here. Get those guys back in the dugout and start getting some rhythm.
Carlos Beltran is the on-deck hitter. McCann walked back in the 1st. And that one is flipped foul. I was during the at-bat by Beltran, we were talking grand slams, and I wanted to check context as far as Beltran's numbers. McCann has 10 of them. The all-time leader in grand slams, just flight out to
in
right.
the ballpark.
Yeah. Alex Rodriguez, 24 of them.
Yeah,
Lou Gehrig, 23.
For a long time, Lou Gehrig held that mark.
There's some interesting names that you would think don't have that many, and then there's some names on that list that don't have that many grand slams. One of our favorites, and he wasn't a Marlin for long, Carlos Lee, 17 grand slams.
El Caballo.
Yeah.
El Caballo.
I think Manny Ramirez.
Manny's 3rd.
Yeah, he's 3rd, 21.
What about McGuire? McGuire on there? It's got to be.
I think he's one of those guys that's, there he is, 14.
Yeah.
That one's hit well to center, and it lands in front of Ozuna. And so McCann has a 2-out single, and here comes Beltran.
Here's just one of those pitches that just gets a little too much of the plate. He's been really good with that. back foot slider, curveball that he's been throwing to these lefties. That one he'd like to have back because he just stayed in the zone a little too long. But he had him set up pretty good for that pitch. If he would have just got it down.
There's a couple guys on that are well below a lot of the big sluggers of their day. Sammy Sosa hit just 9.
Oh wow.
How about Bonds? Of course, there was a time Bonds, I believe it was Buck Showalter.
Bonds hit only 10.
Yeah, I believe Bonds one time was walked with the bases loaded.
That was Buck Showalter.
Yeah, he was.
I take that back. 11 for Bonds. But Johnny Bench only had 11. Only, I say, but I mean, in comparison to some of the other lofty numbers. Carlos Beltran struck out back in the first. Brian McCann's at first base. Matt Latos misses down low.
Now here's a time, Carl, where you really have to reach back. You had those 2 quick outs,
Yep.
and you're thinking maybe you can have that inning where you go 1, 2, 3. Now the base hit by McCann. Now you have to really work to a hitter like Beltran.
Yeah, and he's a tough out. You got to make quality pitches. You can see he kind of rushed to his delivery there and yanked that pitch, but he's got to get back to that nice rhythm he had when he got those quick 2 outs.
What's the biggest difference pre-disabled list to post-disabled list that you see from Latos?
Just he's trusting that, that left leg is such a vital part of transferring energy to your arm. If you're not trusting that leg, you're going to be tentative, and the energy that goes to your arm is not going to be the same. You can just tell that he's more aggressive when he lands, which will give him better extension. You were talking about the downhill plane. That's going to, increase that, make it better. Just makes the ball travel through the zone because you have all your energy going downhill.
There's better bite on the breaking ball, more zip on the fastball.
No doubt. And location, and just hiding the ball better, and just using your body. Like I said earlier, it's nice to know that it's there. 95 miles an hour is there.
And you mentioned it earlier. That goes along with hitting, too.
Yep.
You see a guy has a little knee problem, a little leg problem, and all of a sudden he adjusts things and doesn't drive the ball the way he should. So it affects both things.
Another 1-2. It's up and in.
Yeah, you start compensating. You start trying to pick up the strength and the velocity from other parts of your body, making up for your legs, and that's you compensate. As athletes, you have to do it at times, and it's not always the best way to go about it. But to compete, sometimes you got to play with some bumps and bruises.
You can see Chuck Hernandez being quite demonstrative on the rail of Miami's dugout.
Well, the pitch count's getting up there too. 63 pitches now, and not yet through the 3rd inning.
These veterans in these lineups, they'll pick times when they ambush. They'll pick times where they're going to go deep in the count and wait the guy out.
They lost him. And the Yankees with 2 outs have runners first and second. And that'll bring up Didi Gregorius, the Yankees shortstop.
Tom, for you, when you were playing, you're in the lineup and you got a bunch of lefties in the lineup. You're watching them, seeing how the guy, how the pitcher's working them. That's an advantage for some of these lefties after 2nd, 3rd time through the order.
Without question.
Yeah.
This copyright telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins, and without express written consent, you can't rebroadcast it, retransmit it, or
just can't do it.
Disseminate it.
You just can't do it.
Don't even think about it. Forget about it.
Well, I'll tell you, years ago, before there was all the video, that's what you did. You go to hitters that were similar to you. If you were a lefty, you'd go to a couple of the lefties and say, what's this guy do? How's he throw you? And that's how you try to figure things out.
Yeah.
Now the guys have the luxury of watching all these pitchers on video pitching to left-handers.
Now, as Latos gets set to throw this 0-1 pitch to Didi Gregorius, once there was video, did you have to get permission from the commissioner or the ball club to disseminate?
Had to disseminate it, and then I had to go to the dictionary to figure out what disseminate meant. So
I must not know what that means because I'm thinking of something else.
It's lawyers. it's lawyers.
You tend to see guys' tendencies. There's only so many ways you could work. He's got 4 pitches. And he seems to be going to that back foot slider a lot late in the count. So he's going to have to mix it up because these guys are starting to.
Wide from first. Justin Bohr picks out a youngster.
See a lot of these guys hitting off their front foot. Beltran, De Gregorius, Williams. I'd like to see him elevate some fastballs in right here just to get them off that pitch down. He's been down quite a bit.
One-two. It's an interesting concept in terms of down and up. Immediately you associate if you get it up, they can hit it out. But against left-handed bats, oftentimes they like that low inside fastball, and that's the pitch that they hit for distance and really spin on more than the pitch up and in. That's a good breaking ball. And Latos, who left the bags loaded in the first, leaves 2 on here in the third. Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
To Yankee Stadium, complete without a visit over to Monument Park. A little tougher to see here in the new stadium. It is beyond the center field wall near the batter's eye, kind of covered up. They open it before the game till about 5:30 or so. You get a chance to look, and then it's off limits till the next day. Of course, this goes back to 1929 at Old Yankee Stadium. It was dedicated for Miller Huggins, who suddenly died. He was their manager. He died, and they actually erected at the time a bronze plaque mounted upright, and it was in the field of play. And after Lou Gehrig died and Babe Ruth, they had 3 in play, if you will, but way out. It was almost 500 feet away in center field. And then later they would put monuments on the wall. And then finally, they did not actually move all this until the mid-70s when they brought center field in by about 44 feet. And they created a monument park and then opened up to the public in 1985. But it is neat with the great history here for all the New York Yankees. And 31 members, 18 uniform numbers retired at Monument Park. Hey, there's one story, too. There was a ball out near the monuments, which, again, were in play. And Casey Stengel was going berserk. The outfielder couldn't find it, and he started screaming, "Ruth, Gehrig, Huggins, somebody get that ball into the infield." The center fielder finally found it.
That one pulled foul. Thank you, Craig. I always liked the story from Bob Costas when he was a youngster. They used to exit out through center field, and as he was very young, and the monuments were still in play out in left field, and it didn't frighten him, but he was under the impression that the Yankee greats were actually buried out there under their monuments. So he had a lot of reverence for that. All right, D. Gordon down the right field line, and off to the races goes Gordon. Beltran picks it up. Gordon's not stopping. On his way to third, and he's got himself a triple. It is a short distance down the line, and so the combination needs to be right. And the combination, a slow Beltran and a speedy, quick D. Gordon.
You know, on top of the fact of him missing the cutoff man and then getting into the infield, that really messed up their chances at all getting D.
Little breaking ball. I think CC wanted it off the plate, and you could see where Beltran was way over into the gap in right center. So this ball down the line, even though it isn't a long way down the line, was a long way from Beltran, and no problem at all for D. Gordon to get to third base.
So Gordon's at third. Now Echeverria's up, and he fouls it back. The Marlins set up here in the fourth with a great opportunity to tie the ball game. Their first hit is a triple. Echeverria, Yelich, and Stanton will all get a crack at Sabathia here in the fourth. Infield's back except for Headley at third. And Echeverria swings and misses.
D. Gordon's third triple, had 12 triples last year. So you got a feeling that with Marlins Park in play half of his games, D's going to end up double figures in triples before it's all said and done.
That's a pitch that Echeverria's had some trouble with against Sabathia. It's an elevated fastball. It tops out at about 90 miles an hour, but as you pointed out and you called it, it's a heavy fastball. What's that mean?
You know, when it hits the bat, it rattles their hands, especially when it's in on them. This is a big guy letting go a small baseball, so it's he's got some power behind it.
Well, and part of his problem certainly last year, he had knee surgery, right knee surgery, only 8 starts. So we've talked a lot tonight about the lower half and the importance it has, especially in a pitcher.
He's really gotten into a good rhythm right here. He's pumping fastballs. He's moving the ball in and out and keeping these guys kind of on the seesaw right now.
There's the fastball again. The count full at 3-2. Echeverria just above major league average. Runner at third and less than 2 outs. And Echeverria goes out of the zone, and the count stays at 3-2.
You realize, Rich, Sabathia is 34. When he was 20 years old with the Cleveland Indians, he was 17-5 and had 33 starts.
When he was 18, he was offered multiple scholarships to play tight end in college. He chose baseball.
I'd say he picked the right sport. He's had an incredible career.
And a strike 3 called.
Continued pumping that fastball.
And Echeverria caught looking. He went out of the zone and fouled the pitch off. And Sabathia came right in. And that is a perfect pitch. It just caught the black.
Key at bat here for Christian Yelich. You want to get that run in before it gets to 2 outs. So he has an opportunity, ground ball, especially to the right side, and Gordon will score.
Oh, 0-1.
Very similar to the game last night, with the way early in the game the Marlins really struggled against Pineda. Didn't get anything done until Yelich's home run. Yet the Yankees, even though they had a few opportunities, didn't put up a lot of runs on the scoreboard either.
Sabathia in the day was absolutely a nightmare for left-handed hitters.
He's an opposing figure out there, 6'8", 285. Stands on that left side of that rubber. The ball probably sometimes looks like it's coming right at him.
And a good sharp breaking ball. Now Yelich in a 1-2 hole.
He's doing a really good job of keeping these guys off the dish and really dictating their whole rhythm of the at-bats. I mean, he started off with 2 sinkers into Yelich, and he goes over. He gets him kind of quickened up, and then he busts a nice slider down the way that Christian swung through.
Pitch is out. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. D. Gordon opened the inning with a triple. Danny Echeverria struck out. And here is Yelich with the infield back and speed at third, just trying to put a ball in play and tie this game. There's the breaking ball, and there's the ground ball, and the run scores. Yelich is out. Nicely done by Christian Yelich.
You know, sometimes from up here that sounds so easy. Just put a ball in play and get the job done. But you got a good battle going on, but give Christian Yelich credit, a tough left-hander. He got the ground ball, and he got D. Gordon in.
Took 5 pitches. He really battled him that bad.
So the game is even and a run apiece. And here's Giancarlo Stanton. Popped to first his first time up, and he gets that one into center field. Didn't really square that one up. Sounded like end of the bat. And a base hit for Stanton, who entered this ball game still as the home run and RBI leader.
Yeah, got that little breaking ball. End of the bat, but he's still strong enough to get it through the infield in a hurry.
And that gets Marcell Ozuna a 4th inning at bat. He struck out in the 2nd. Sabathia has done a lot of things in his career.
Yes.
6-time All-Star, won a Cy Young, 11 career opening day starts.
How about the half year he had with Milwaukee?
That's where I was going.
7 complete games.
Incredible.
11-2.
With an ERA of 1.65. And you know, a lot of those starts were on short days rest.
Yep. It's the only he has 211 wins. He has 200 in the American League and 11 in the National League. He did it all in the American League, and the American League that's varsity baseball.
And you know what? You talk about CC as one of those, a big horse. You always take the ball, a lot of innings, a lot of starts. I mean, the Brewers rode that big horse that second half of the season.
They did, and they got their money's worth because he really got them down that finish line.
To third, Headley picks it, and Ozuna is out, but Miami is even. A triple by D. Gordon. Christian Yelich knocks him home. It's 1-1. Pines Price Service Selection. You're going to love us. By Checkers.
Okay.
Get Checkers Authentic Philly Cheesesteak. Try the new Meatball Sub. Pick yours. And by Lexus of Pembroke Pines. Price, service, selection. You're going to love us. Night is falling in Gotham. And in the Bronx, Tommy Hutton, Carl Pavano joining me in the booth. Craig Minervini roaming Yankee Stadium in a 1-1 game at Latos and CC Sabathia. This is Stephen Drew, and he takes a strike. In the backdrop here, in a ballpark so steeped in baseball lore and history, the most recognized baseball franchise in all of Major League Baseball. Alex Rodriguez is 2 hits from 3,000 to right center. Well hit. Stanton and Ozuna. It's Ozuna who wants to make sure Stanton doesn't flatten him. He makes the catch.
We've talked about it during this series, these matchups with Stephen Drew. He's really having an odd year. He's hitting in the 170s, but he launches a lot of fly balls, and he has 9 home runs. So you have to really be careful, and that one was close.
I think to Leto's credit, that those balls that he's hit are elevated, and he throws a little harder than the average fastball, so it's going to be tougher for Steven to turn on those balls. But if that fastball is 89, he could get the head out a little better.
You guys want to do a little 3,000 hit trivia?
Sure, I like trivia.
How many players have recorded their 3,000th hit in either the old Yankee Stadium or the new Yankee Stadium? Think of all the Yankee greats.
Well, yeah, but a lot of them didn't have 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
DiMaggio, Mantle, Ruth, Garrick, they didn't have 3,000. Derek Jeter did.
Yes.
And he did it in Yankee Stadium.
In the old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
No, he did it in the new Yankee Stadium in 2011. And he's it. He's the only Yankee to get 3,000 hits in this ballpark, new or old. And now, how many Yankees? Look at all those retired numbers. How many Yankees got their 3,000th hit as a Yankee? That's a fair ball, and Mathis gets the out. So a guy who is a current Yankee that gets 3,000 hits. Derek Jeter. That's it.
Hey, by the way, when we were looking at those retired numbers, we saw one of those guys out here at the ballpark tonight around the batting cage. Reggie Jackson was here.
Reggie Jackson didn't have 3,000
No,
hits.
he didn't.
There are 5 members of the 3,000 hit club that played for the Yankees. Jeter being one of them. Wade Boggs, Rickey Henderson, Dave Winfield, and Paul Wainer. Wow. But it's amazing that that list is so bereft of Yankee legends.
And someday, hopefully,
Ichiro.
Ichiro, you can say, played for the Yankees with 3,000 hits.
Yes. Well, Ichiro is next on the list behind Alex Rodriguez. Here's Brett Gardner. He fouls that one off.
Another situation, Pavi, excuse me, that he gets the first 2 outs. Now he's thinking about trying to have that quick inning.
Yeah, you get ahead of yourself. And 2 out walks.
I see. I'm getting ahead of myself.
and 2 out walks too. He's better being at the top of the order, just being aggressive here. But you're seeing his rhythm being interrupted by, could be just trying to rush through the inning and get that inning over after he gets 2 outs and he runs into problems.
Gardner swings and misses. Brett Gardner, 1 for 2.
This guy plays hard. I think you watch Brett Gardner. If you're a Yankee fan, you see him night in and night out. You appreciate him because he plays hard. You watch him run the bases, takes hard turns on base hits.
A swing and a miss, and down goes Gardner. And Latos does have that 1-2-3 inning. Going to the 5th, 1-1. Major league moment, 2005. Derek Jeter, first and only grand slam of his 20-year Major League career. Jeter just the one grand slam. He's in that 3,000 hit club. It's hard to avoid any of the Yankee history. Even when you drive up to this ballpark, I know it's the new Yankee Stadium, but it's still historic. From the outside, it looks, just like you would imagine if you were to die and go to baseball heaven. These walking through the lobby of this place would be what walking into baseball heaven would be like. It's very ornate, very historic at the same time.
Great piece of construction. What neat about the event was today, it was across the street where old Yankee Stadium was. So I had been standing there looking around trying to figure out where's right field, where the bleachers were, and that was pretty neat.
Jeff Baker, Justin Bour, Donovan Solano.
Of course, old Yankee Stadium has good memories going back to 2003.
Yeah, it does. They shut the lights off on us, though, Tommy. They wouldn't let us celebrate. They shut the lights off on us.
I remember being out there on the field, and it did get dark in a hurry.
Awful quick.
Baker lines one into left field, and that's a base hit.
And that's what he does. And that's what he's done his entire career, especially against left-handers.
Now Justin Bour.
Every once in a while, when you do see CC Sabathia make that mistake and maybe flatten out the breaking ball, not bury it inside, the Marlins have had some good swings. Karsten Charles, CC.
Out of Vallejo, California. Dontrell Willis and CC Sabathia close. Dontrell grew up about 30-40 minutes from Vallejo down in Alameda, California.
Throw a little Jimmy Rollins in there, maybe.
That's right. Rollins at the same high school, Encino High School in Alameda as Dontrell.
Up until this point, CC's been he was 11 for 14 with first pitch strikes through 4 innings. He hasn't thrown one first pitch strike here, and he's really gotten out of whack. This could be an inning for the Marlins that they could take advantage.
A strike, and it's 2-1.
As a pitcher, one of the toughest things to do is when you give up that leadoff hit, sometimes pitching around that. Whether it's the bottom, the middle of the lineup, the rhythm of the inning's so much better when you get that first out.
And that hit him. And Bour gets hit. Looked like it was the forearm or the wrist area. And he didn't flinch. He jogs down to first base. And so the Marlins all of a sudden have a nice start to the inning. South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for the Reds and the Marlins. Our Friday chat with DJ. Anthony DeSclafani scheduled originally, but we don't know. There was a rain out tonight for the Cincinnati Reds. Mike Leake was supposed to pitch tonight, so it could be Heron and Leake. It could be Heron and Disco. Maybe Saturday is disco night.
That could be. Well, that's always a good disco night.
Yeah, it is.
Pav, you're talking about negotiating your way through an order. That's one of the biggest differences in the National League to the American League.
Yep.
You can kind of look ahead, and you have that pitcher coming up.
Solano sends this one into right center field. Baker tags. Williams has the catch. Baker's going to give it a shot, and the throw is cut. Baker gets to third. Good hustle by Jeff Baker. Justin Bour holds at first. And now Jeff Mathis will try to drive in a run and give Miami the lead.
Don't ever rule out a squeeze in this situation. You might not have the speed you'd like at third base, but we've seen Jeff Mathis every once in a while drop down a bunt. Heads up on Baker's part. Realize that ball's deep enough. He's had a little Achilles issue going for him, but he looked pretty good running there.
Aggressive baseball.
Infield back for 2. You got Bohr at first. Mathis up. Sabathia struck him out back in the 3rd. And he buries one. Obviously, Sabathia is looking for a ground ball here. Broken finger put Mathis on the disabled list for more than a month. And Mathis tags one out to center. Baker tagging. Gardner makes the catch. Here comes Baker. Here comes a throw, and he scores. And so Jeff Baker, with some heads-up base running, gets from 2nd to 3rd, and then scores from 3rd on a sacrifice fly by Jeff Mathis, and the Marlins have their lead. It's 2-1.
We have seen 2 really good at-bats from Christian Yelich and now Jeff Mathis doing the job. Yelich getting the ball on the ground to pick up an RBI. Mathis getting a ball in the air deep enough to score Baker from 3rd.
Yeah, every game's not going to be like Tuesday where things just fall into place and you got 3-run homers and doubles and triples when you need them. This is a good way to manufacture runs, and they've done a good job at it this inning.
D. Gordon takes the strike. Gordon tripled in the 4th and bounced out in the 1st.
CC's really controlled the baseball throughout this game up until this inning. He's been very erratic. The Marlins have taken advantage of that.
I think the biggest at bat in this inning, Justin Bohr getting hit by a pitch, and that kind of set everything in motion. As Tommy pointed out, an excellent at bat by Mathis, but give Solano credit. He hit it to the right side, and he hit it deep enough to advance Baker. Gordon fouls it back, and it is 1-2.
I don't think the American League East is as used to a lot of these little things. You know, they just kind of go toe to toe.
Yeah, like Susan touched on. It's base to base, looking for the big homers.
And we talked last night about the ballparks in the East. Javi, you pitched in the American League East. Boston, obviously a great place to hit. Toronto is a terrific place to hit. If you're a left-handed bat, this is a great place to hit.
That's a tough division.
Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore.
It doesn't matter what side of the plate you're on. Baltimore is a tiny ballpark.
Yep. It's a very offense-generated division. And tough to pitch, like Tommy touched on. You got 9 guys you got to face.
Which leads me to a question, though, for you. If you had to pick one of those parks to pitch in, where you felt like you'd have a little success in the American League East, which one would it be?
Yeah, I mean, I was never a guy that really was too concerned about getting beat by home runs because I thought I kept the ball on the ground pretty well. But, you know, bigger parks obviously feed that a little better. But I like pitching in Baltimore. I had good luck in Baltimore. I've pitched some good games.
Yeah, talked to Jeff Francoeur about that. That's into right field. A base hit. Beltran picks it up. Justin Bohr takes a left turn and arrives at third base. And the nice inning by the Marlins continues. 2 hits for D. Gordon tonight. And up comes Echeverria.
Well, and 2 hits off a left-hander who has kept left-handers under 200 this year. Good job by D. Good job by Justin Bohr. He has to duck to get out of the way. Knows he's going first to third. And there he is.
Another big horse right there. You know, D did a good job. I was surprised that Sabathia went to the curveball again because that's what D hit in the triple. D looked like he's made some adjustments. He just shortened up his swing a little bit, try not to do too much, and just square the ball up.
He's too shy of 100 on the season. Echeverria struck out swinging in the first, looking in the fourth. And Gordon away from first, and Echeverria pops it fouling out of play.
Etch has made some really aggressive swings today. He's just come up empty. He's just missing those pitches right there.
Well, he was hitless last night. A couple of strikeouts tonight.
Tommy, you remember the start that you guys announced in Fenway that I had where I didn't even get an out? Did you think I was going to go Fenway?
I didn't think you were going to go Fenway. No, I kind of
made a long night for you guys.
Should have ruled that one out right away.
Yeah.
of all the ballparks in the East last night, we decided that the Trop was as fair for hitters as it is for pitchers. You agree on that?
Yeah, I agree.
Kind of a neutral.
Yep, yeah, definitely. Out of all the stadiums in the East, the Trop was
very neutral, much like the V-neck sweater that Bobby Knight was wearing around the.
He's still wearing those?
Yeah, he was around the batting cage tonight. Bob Knight and Reggie Jackson around the batting cage. That one foul back.
Flair for the dramatic, Reggie, huh? How about some of the games he's had in the playoffs? And some of the things he's done in baseball. Incredible.
Count 0-2.
And Rich, we were right in our assessment. The Marlins will see Mike Leake tomorrow night. Anthony DeSclafani.
Jimmy Fallon and Lorne Michaels.
Wow.
Runner goes, and Echeverria has struck out 3 times tonight. Miami gets a run and leads it 2-1. Marlins Fan Express is back, ready to bring you straight to the action at Marlins Park. To book this luxury motor coach for your group, call 305-480-2523 or email groups@marlins.com. Along with Tommy Hutton, Carl Pavano, we saw Jimmy Fallon and Lorne Michaels. Plenty of Marlin shirts and Marlin signs here at Yankee Stadium tonight. Matt Latos throws a strike.
Hey, Matt Latos takes the mound with the lead. First lead he's had. And it appears, you can go back to last inning, he had a 1-2-3 inning. A little better command, too.
Yeah, what you like to see. He's getting better as the game's going on.
Chase Headley, Alex Rodriguez, and Mark Teixeira. And again, Alex Rodriguez with a base hit in the first is at 2,998 hits. Headley singled in the first, struck out in the second. There is A-Rod. So Jimmy Fallon is a Yankee fan. Do he and Seinfeld get along?
Yeah, they get along. Yeah, of course, Seinfeld, a Met fan. Sure they do.
That's what I'm saying. They're two comedy giants.
Where was Letterman and all that? He was kind of, I don't know if he ever committed one way or the other.
He was an Indianapolis Colts fan.
Because he was a Midwest guy.
From Indianapolis.
Midwest guy. He could have been a Reds fan, Cleveland fan, maybe.
And that strike 3 called. Matt Latos really has dialed it in.
All right, Pat, what are you seeing? I think I'm seeing it too.
Yeah, he's starting to pitch off his fastball, moving the ball in and out, and really getting into a rhythm. I mean, keeping the ball down.
Boy, that two-seamer really moved too.
Especially going into this inning with this meat of the lineup coming up. That first, we talk about it all the time. That first out of the inning is so important.
Alex Rodriguez, 2 hits last night. 1 for 2 tonight. 2 hits away from a very exclusive club. Outside corner. And it's 0-1.
The velocity, even at 86 pitches in the 5th, the velocity is still up there, showing that his strength and his stamina is where it needs to be.
At 94, it's in. Two and one.
I think we're seeing more fastballs in the last couple of innings too.
Which is a good, and you can see his rhythm. He's getting back up on the mound a little quicker. He's starting to feel it himself. You can see his pace picking up. Which tends to, think that he's gaining some confidence with these last 2 innings.
The count goes to 3-1. 5 strikeouts, couple walks for Matt Latos. CC Sabathia has struck out 6, has no walks. The Marlins have their 2 runs on 4 hits. Rodriguez, that's a base hit. He is 1 away. 2,999.
Well, again, using his intelligence, using all that experience, 3-1. Not trying to do too much. All the base hits in this series have been singles. Got the fastball. This is the first base hit he's hit into left field.
Yep, and on a fastball in. I think on a 3-1 count, he's going to be a little more quicker in because he can anticipate maybe cheating on that pitch, but still made a good swing. That was a good pitch by Latos.
Now Teixeira, and he knocks one down the line. It's a fair ball into the corner. Alex Rodriguez headed to third, and he'll hold there. A 1-out double by Mark Teixeira. And the Yankees trying to answer right back after Miami has taken the lead.
Where Alex is in his career right now, he's not scoring for first on that. As you can see, he's clogging up the bases a little bit. So that was a blessing for the Marlins that he wasn't able to score from first.
Another pitch turned on. That's what Teixeira does, get it into that corner. Yeah, there might have been a time early in his career as a Mariner that Alex Rodriguez would have scored on that.
Now it's Brian McCann. The Marlins infield is shifted for McCann. You can see the lone man over there is Donovan Solano. Echeverria way over out of the picture on the first base side. There's D. Gordon in shallow right field.
Good pitch.
0-1.
That's a get-me-over curve. He doesn't have to try to bury that one. With 2 strikes, he'd try to bury that one down and in.
Oh, and 2. McCann, a productive season. He's driven in 40. 9 doubles. 9 home runs. And a good breaking ball for strike 3. McCann, who punched out on a pitch like that last night, chases.
That one he buried.
Yes, he did. He's had a lot of success with that pitch against the lefties today. And when you throw one for his first pitch strike and get ahead of him and expand the zone, especially a guy like this, he's up there to get a big swing. He's not going to be, taking too many pitches. So his aggression's going to be up, and he took advantage of it.
Another veteran bat to get out of this inning.
It doesn't get any easier.
Yeah, you got Carlos Beltran. He struck out in the first, walked in the third. Nice job by Mathis.
Well, it's great to have confidence, too, in the guy that's behind the plate.
Yep. There is a situation where there's a base open here. If he doesn't, get a strike in the next couple of pitches, he does have the rookie, De Gregorius, who's batting .232. So it's not do or die that he goes after this guy. If he gets behind him, he can pitch around him and has that first base open and go after the young man.
And he has gotten Gregorius a couple of times tonight.
Yes, he's made some good pitches against him.
Mathis again has to make like Wall. And counts 2-0. In the air, popped him up. Echeverria, Matt Latos, nicely done. Gets McCann, gets Beltran, and hangs on to a 2-1 Miami lead. Two-1 in the top of the sixth. A Toyota trend. Felo, the Hall of Famer. Last night, Felo Ramirez, Dave Van Horn added new Yankee Stadium to their Hall of Fame resumes. For Felo, his 63rd stadium, and for DVH, Dave Van Horn, his 54th. Here's Yelich, shortening to bunt. He takes outside.
I wonder if on that list, Felo and Dave count Hiram Bithorn's stadium in Puerto Rico. Have to.
Yeah.
Major League game.
Yep. That's interesting. I'm sure we'll get that right back.
Has Dave or Felo done any other games, whether for the Marlins or in Dave's case for the Expos, or in Felo's case a national game outside of the U.S. as they did in Puerto Rico?
Well, last year was what, Panama?
Yeah, those were exhibition.
Oh, they were exhibition.
Yeah,
okay.
Spring training games. There's a strike.
course, Dave Van Horn outside the U.S. had all those games with the Expos in Canada.
Yeah, there were some regular season games in Mexico, but I think San Diego played those. But you never know if Phalo went there to do that game.
I believe Phalo did a couple of big heavyweight fights.
Oh, yeah.
At old Yankee Stadium.
Oh, yeah. T-Mobile Game Changer. Tonight's T-Mobile Game Changer, Giancarlo Stanton. All-time Marlin at bats per home run. Stanton in 2015 is on a record pace. Mike Jacobs making the show tonight.
Let's not forget, Giancarlo didn't hit his first home run until April 16th, right?
And he didn't feel comfortable in his mind until about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. He said,
That's pretty incredible.
just don't feel comfortable.
And now 9 home runs and 18 RBIs in June.
It's fun to watch.
Stanton to left. It's deep.
A rocket.
And it's gone.
He got that one.
Add this new Yankee Stadium to the list.
There it is.
A bolt to left off of Sabathia. Stanton's 25th, and it's 3-1. And the handoff from Lenny Harris. The Marlins stretch their lead.
My goodness.
Hammered. You know, his at bat before that, he had a curveball that CC tried to backdoor to him that he hit off the end. That one, not so much. That was squared up.
And I thought it was interesting. The first pitch of the at bat was a fastball in. Then CC comes back with that breaking ball, and he just watches a bullet get out of here in a hurry.
Too much of the plate for that one. What a great swing.
Here's Ozuna now. Sabathia has given up 15 home runs this year. And the pitch taken inside. And so the major league leader in home runs adds 1 to his total. Bryce Harper at 22, as you saw on the list, 63 RBIs. He is 9 ahead of Paul Goldschmidt going into play tonight. This was a low outside pitch that he had to go get.
There's a great example. We were talking earlier how the legs affect pitching, hitting. You see that drive from that lower half of Giancarlo.
Sabathia misses down low.
Wow.
You love hearing the crowd react, especially in a ballpark that is not the home ballpark. Just to hear the visiting crowd react to a ball like that off the bat. Teixeira gets to the wall and makes the catch.
Well, for a minute it looked like that ball would curl foul, and it just came back all of a sudden.
You can see that wind on those flags pushing right to left, so kept it in there.
Now Jeff Baker. Baker not only had a really nice at bat in the 5th, which was a leadoff single, he had a nice adventure on the base paths. He lines it foul. Baker, after he reached first, was pushed to second when Justin Bour was hit by a pitch. He scampered from second to third on a fly ball to center from Donovan Solano, and then scored on another fly ball to center off the bat of Jeff Mathis. It was the second run of the night for Miami. CC Sabathia did not allow a hit until the D. Gordon triple in the 4th. Gordon would score on Yelich's ground ball. That tied the game at 1. You've just seen Giancarlo Stanton make it 3-1. You have also, if you've been with us from the very start, seen Alex Rodriguez get 2 more hits and climb 1 within 3,000. And so obviously you want to stick around for that, because Rodriguez, barring something odd happening, is going to get another crack at 3,000. That conceivably he could get 2 shots at it. And of course, the other part of the story is Matt Latos, who, much like Jose Urena last night, didn't start out sharp, gave up a run in the first inning, worked himself into and out of some jams, and right now holds a 3-1 lead. Baker swings and misses. Giancarlo Stanton goes deep. Number 25, a bolt to left, and it's 3-1 Miami. Three-1 ball game. Marlins on top. Giancarlo Stanton, his 25th. And Miami's lead is now 3-1. This is game 4 of this 2-2, the home and home Marlins-Yankees series. And 3 of the 4 games have been tight ones. One was a laugher, the Marlins win. Gregorius dumps it to left, and Yelich is there, and he runs it down.
Gotta love those first pitch outs, especially late in the game.
Yeah, especially when you're in probably what's going to be Matt Latos' last inning.
It's great.
So you love that, yeah.
Taking a lot of pressure off the manager. I'm sure Chuck is really happy.
Thursday, the 25th, Marlins and Cardinals, 7:10 start. Seniors 55 and older can get free tickets on Senior Free Ticket Thursday, presented by Wellmax Medical Centers. Visit your local South Florida Subway restaurant. Get a coupon for a $5 ticket. Go to marlins.com today. Stephen Drew now. Drew an 0 for 2 night. For a guy that has made a lot of money in this game and whose name is pretty prominent, Drew, in the last few years of his career, have not been great ones. That one fouled back. He's a career .253 hitter with a career .318 on base. He's always had a little pop, maybe more than a little, and that's evident this year with the 9 homers, the 10 doubles, and a 170 batting average. Up the middle, Echeverria right there. Gets it to first in time. And Matt Latos has got 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning.
Played him perfect right there. Had him shaded just outside the bag towards left field a little bit. It hit it right to him.
Saw Latos pull the glove back. So
Yep.
he's thinking about picking it. How tough is that for a pitcher. I mean, you know where
Yeah.
they're playing, but sometimes the instincts take over.
Instincts just take over. You're exactly right. And he did a good job pulling back and giving his knowing where his guys are behind him, giving him a chance to make the play. Thank God he didn't throw that bare hand out there. They like to do that too, the pitchers.
It's the East versus the East. National League East, the Marlins. American League East, the Yankees. And that holds true for everybody tonight in baseball. The Centrals are battling. The West teams are going at it, all in interleague play. And the Mets are learning what the Marlins learned, that the Toronto Blue Jays are a real bear at home. 7-0, Toronto on top.
Well, they're also having a hard time against their former Met, R.A. Dickey.
He had 2 hits through 6 innings. 7-0, Toronto leads the Mets. Bartolo Colon was knocked around in that ball game. Toronto won big last night as well. That is in the gap. Stanton trying to cut it off. Bounces off the wall. Mason Williams can run. And he'll get to second base. Right field at Yankee Stadium is not a great place for triples. The right fielder generally plays off the line and towards the gap.
Yeah, Mason Williams was just called up recently. He'd been in Double-A and Triple-A, hitting over 300 in those 2 stops. And the base hit he got last night was his first hit here at Yankee Stadium. We saw him a little bit in Miami at Marlins Park.
He's done a good job tonight. He took his first hit of the night. It was a fastball away. He didn't try to pull. He hit it down the left field line. There was a fastball lift over the middle. They drove into the gap for a double.
Odd for a young Yankee player. He was born in Pawtucket. His traditional Red Sox territory.
Wow. McCoy Stadium.
But he went to high school in Florida, West Orange High School. Here's Brett Gardner. Mike Dunn in Miami's bullpen. They tossed 106 pitches. A lot of those came in the first 3 innings. If you're tracking stressful innings, and that's something that not only do the Marlins track, but other teams have in the last 2 or 3 years started to pay attention at the major league and the minor league level. Latos probably has 3 of those, the first, the third, and the 5th.
Yeah, it hasn't been an easy go. The Yankees, though, are 1 for 9, runners in scoring position. They've left 8 men on base.
That one's in the gap. Stanton after it, and it is gone. It gets out. Gardner just clears the wall, and Miami's lead goes with it. Sixth homer for Brett Gardner.
Well, you knew sooner or later with those numbers, the Yankees, who are a good hitting team, sooner or later somebody was going to come through. Let's see what he got.
Yeah, just a ball up over the zone, and more times than none, having rough innings like that are going to catch up to you, and they wear you down. They really do. The stress of it late in the game here, trying to protect the lead, and you're at 100 pitches, and your stuff is not going to get better. It might stay the same, but it's not going to get better at 106 pitches, so it's a tough position to be in.
Dan Jennings out of Miami's dugout on his way to the mound, and it looks like Latos' night is done. He got the first 2 outs rather quickly here in the 6th, and then the double by Mason Williams and the homer by Brett Gardner. Latos exits West Kendall Toyota. Called to the bullpen. Mike Dunn coming in a tie game. early in this ball game. Left them loaded in the first. Left 2 in the third. Had the bases empty and 2 outs in this one. Mason Williams doubled. Brett Gardner a 2-run homer. And the end of the line is the 6th inning for Latos Mike Dunn out of Miami's bullpen. And he gets the number 2 hitter Chase Headley with Alex Rodriguez on deck. So a 3-3 ball game on a night here in the Bronx where the fans that are here and you at home may get a chance to see some history with Alex Rodriguez 1 hit away from 3,000.
This is where that versatility of their lineup comes in. Headley just turns around and bats from the right side since he's a switch hitter. So it's a big advantage for this lineup.
It's been a nice run for the Marlins left-hander Mike Dunn.
Rodriguez on deck. Headley 1 for 3. And a strike. It's kind of an interesting start for Latos. First 3 hitters had hits, including Rodriguez, who knocked in a run. The Yankees had a 1-0 lead, and that's the only run they got until the Gardner home run. That's a strike, 1-2.
Dunn, product of the Yankees, drafted by the Yankees.
Not as a pitcher.
Nope.
Jason Shreve.
How much awareness do you have, Pav, when you are pitching to a guy like Headley and you see A-Rod, you know that A-Rod's on deck, the on-deck hitter?
Yeah, I mean, you try not to play too many mind games, but, you know, the count dictates it. I mean, whether you're going to be aggressive, go after him, or go after the next guy.
Into center field, it's a base hit, and Rodriguez will bat here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, you asked earlier, Rich, how you thought the crowd would react. I think we know because most of them are certainly aware of where Alex Rodriguez sits right now, and most of them are on their feet right now.
Yankee Stadium not quite filled, but at least 40,000 here. They're changing baseballs now. These baseballs specially marked. Make sure they get the right one if history is made. "28 players in Major League history have 3,000 hits." Alex into right center field. Stanton is there and he makes the catch. And Mike Dunn shuts the inning down and keeps Rodriguez from a piece of history. The Yankees tie it. Brett Gardner, a 2-run homer. It's 3-3.
Games go to the top of the 7th, as we told you earlier this afternoon, right across the street here from Yankee Stadium. 5 players turned out for a little Major League Baseball launching of something known as play ball. Out there, Giancarlo Stanton, A-Rod, D. Gordon among the players out there. Those are the 3 guys that are in the game tonight. And guess what? You give a little something in the afternoon, you come out early, and certainly the kids were thrilled to play wiffle ball with them. And tonight, these 3 guys are having big nights. 2 for 3 for D. Gordon. He scored a run with a triple. Giancarlo's got 2 hits, including his homer, and Alex Rodriguez pulled within 1 hit of 3,000 and has the crowd roaring here at Yankee Stadium. Good day's work, guys.
Hey, Craig, the Marlins are hopeful that Dylan Betances, who is also in that shot, does not pitch tonight. Right now, he's closing for the Yankees.
Chris Young was the other guy out there today.
Chasen Shreve is the first out of the Yankee pen, taking over for CC Sabathia. Justin Bour, Donovan Solano, Jeff Mathis. Marlins don't have a whole lot of wiggle room in terms of pinch hitters and such.
Justin Bour saw Chasen Shreve last night. Shreve came on just to get an out. He struck him out. And Shreve has been on a good streak, over 10 innings without allowing a run. The bullpen for the Yankees has a great number. They put together a lot of strikeouts. The bullpen leads the major leagues in strikeouts. They got a lot of swing and miss guys.
It's one of those tough arm angles to pick up when you're a lefty, because he's kind of lower than 3/4, probably from the left side. For a left-handed batter, it seems like it's coming right at him. Sweeps across the plate.
Wow, that ball was smoked.
Yep. Getting for him tonight.
Justin Bour with a base hit right back up the box. He's 1 for 2, and here is Solano now.
It's kind of like a Madison Bumgarner delivery.
Yep.
But a fastball, boy, right back past Chasen Shreve. Nobody in the infield could get it.
Now Solano. And we'll see how Miami plays it. You don't have great speed at first. Solano handles the bat well. He can hit and run. He can bunt. Swings and misses. A tough spot for Donovan, who hasn't seen a lot of at-bats or a lot of playing time lately.
Miami scored 2 out of the 3 innings this game that they've gotten the first guy on, so they've done well when they've gotten that first guy on.
Lifted, foul. And it's 0-2.
Yeah, Donovan making just his 7th start this year. And his first at third base. He started at short. He started at second.
Slings it up there and misses. It's 1-2. And a trip from Brian McCann. A check on the East in the National League and the American League is easy because they're all playing each other. Washington is trailing the Rays 5-3. That's in D.C. The Mets are trailing the Blue Jays. That's in Toronto. 7-0 Toronto. That's in the 8th inning now. Atlanta behind Boston 1-0 in Atlanta. That's top 6. Philadelphia 2-1 beating Baltimore and salvaging a game against the Orioles. I don't think Big Papi is in that game in Atlanta. I think he is benched for a game.
Well, of course, no DH. No, he's playing first base.
Oh, excuse me. It's Pablo Sandoval. My bad. That's up the middle. A flip And a turn. Gregorius to Drew to Teixeira. And there are 2 outs in the 7th.
Yeah, Pablo got caught up in what, social media problems?
Yes.
Well, it's pretty routine once it's picked by Gregorius. And there's the 6-4-3.
Only in this day and age can a player be benched for a game for using his cell phone during a game and quote unquote violating the team's social media policy. He apparently swiped like on a photo on his Instagram account. That's how they were able to figure out the timeline and said, wait a minute, how did Pablo...
we were playing at that time.
Yeah,
wow,
they remember that. Don't swipe like at certain times.
Sounds like one of those cases where they're looking for something.
I didn't send a message, he said. I hit the like button. I was in the bathroom in the 7th inning. That one down the right field line, and it's foul off the bat of Jeff Mathis.
Well, you know something's wrong when you have to go into that many justifications.
So he said he admitted he broke a team rule, and he pays the price. He's not in the lineup tonight.
Well, stand-up guy. Might have been sitting down at the time.
Come on. Here's the 0-2. And it's
I was wondering where you were going with that, Tommy. I knew you were going somewhere with that.
Actually, I didn't know where I was going with it until about halfway. That happens sometimes.
Mathis with the count 1-2. And Shreve gets him with a changeup. Mathis strikes out. 7th inning stretch in the Bronx in a 3-3 game. AT Rewind, brought to you by AT Uverse, which has more live TV channels on the go than cable. Jose Fernandez last night, one more step closer to pitching in the big leagues. Rehab start, struck out 10. He did give up a run on a solo homer. And a couple more rehab starts for Jose. July 2nd is the target date. And that will be against the San Francisco Giants. And And that will be on Fox Sports Florida. Mike Dunn getting set to work the bottom of the 7th. Mike Goff, Dan Jennings, Chuck Hernandez. Matt Latos started this game for the Marlins and wobbled early, tightened up. The Marlins got a 3-1 lead. Latos was knocked out of the game when Brett Gardner knocked one out of the park in the 6th. The 2-run homer with 2 outs. And that tied it. Giancarlo Stanton has hit his 25th home run. That stretched Miami's lead at the time to 3-1. All of that in Yankee Stadium with the backdrop of Alex Rodriguez getting 2 more hits tonight and needing just 1 now for 3,000. Rodriguez lined out to end the 6th inning. Giancarlo Stanton made that catch in right center field. So here's Teixeira with McCann and Beltran against Dunn. And a strike to Mark Teixeira, who's doubled in 3 trips.
Talking about pitching to this lineup, sometimes with the switch hitters they have, you like to switch them over to the other side. They haven't hit from that side.
Fortunately for the Marlins, Dunn's pretty good against righties as well.
Two and 1. Marlins saw this lefty yesterday. Former Pirate Justin Wilson. Foul back. And you can hear the commotion below us.
Everyone wants a souvenir, especially a foul ball.
Almost ended up in the Yankee radio booth. John Sterling and Susan Waldman. In Yankee television tonight, our friend Al Leiter, who joined us on Tuesday night, not working. The Yankees have a cavalcade of stars and analysts that they use. What if they got a catcher and a right fielder?
Yes, they do.
Yep.
Working with Michael Kay. Good pitch. Well, let's see. They have there's Michael Kay on the left. There's Paul O'Neill in the center, and John Flaherty.
Yeah. I had a chance to
Wait a minute. What's going on behind them?
I believe they have the U.S. Open on behind them.
Well, they are now the Yes Network, partially owned by Fox, right? So
yeah.
They're part of the team.
Yeah,
part
they
of
are.
part of the group.
I was a teammate of Flaherty's in 2005.
Good catcher.
Yeah, great catcher. I love throwing to him. One of those guys that's just really gave a good target, called a good game. Student of the game, came in prepared.
Brian McCann's 1 for 2 with a walk.
He was Randy Johnson's personal catcher that year. Randy refused to throw to anyone else.
And you don't get any more intensity than Paul O'Neill.
Oh,
you do.
I remember some tapes back in the day when he was with the Reds. Some helmets didn't make it.
Yeah, he was one of the all-time great
snapper.
Yeah.
I think they might have had Hal Morris on the team. He was a pretty good snapper too back in his day.
It's probably why they developed the plastic Gatorade jugs. There was a great play. Was it O'Neill that kicked the ball in from right field?
Yeah, he kicked it. He just kicked it.
He couldn't quite get it in his glove. Fumbled it a few times. Finally, he just got tired of it and just kicked it into the infield. Nice Line drive by McCann, who leaned out over the plate and strokes it into left field. The Yankees have a base runner. The bonus code tonight for you Fish family members is American League. You can get bonus points during every Marlins road game. Actually, strike that. It is Ramos. Ramos is your code. Unless you're the St. Louis Cardinals and you already know the code.
Allegedly.
Here's the pitch to Beltran.
Wow.
And it's outside.
Wow.
Carter Capps getting
Carter
ready.
Capps.
By the way, Paul O'Neill over 2,100 hits, and he was a part of those Yankee championship teams, and always was a big postseason performer.
Dunn misses in to Beltran. Was struck out and popped out. Beltran from this side of the plate. 49 at bats, a 204 average, has not homered.
Not been an easy night for Jeff Mathis back there.
No, it hasn't.
He had to scramble around. He had to knock down a lot of pitches at Matt Latos, a lot of curveballs that were down.
He's working back there, no doubt.
You know, not many switch hitters have the same pop and numbers from each side of the plate. But almost all of them have the same batting stance to an extent. Is there a hitter, a switch hitter that you guys can think of that is completely different batting stance and style one side to the next?
That's a good question.
Good question. I was just thinking that when Texera was up, how he's so identical from both sides of the plate with his stances.
But
the
look
way
at,
he waves his bat.
Look at Beltran in his career, though. He's 280.
The other guy
280 from both sides.
that I always remember was very similar, average-wise and everything, was Ted Simmons. Ted Simmons.
Pitch.
3-2. Full count. Beltran the hitter. Brian McCann, the runner at first. Beltran, left field. That's deep. And that's gone. And he has homered from the right side. And the Yankees lead is 5-3.
Well, this is just getting to that fastball count, having to throw a fastball to a good hitter who took advantage of the mistake.
Warren Henry, drive of the game. Wherever you go in Miami, your advantage is here at Warren Henry.
That ball was elevated, too. He made a really good swing staying on top of that ball.
378th career home run.
I specifically remember the playoffs he had when he got traded from the Royals to the Astros. Incredible.
D.D. Gregorius lifts one, foul territory. Solano is there, and he makes the catch. And that's the second out of the seventh inning. So the Yankees have used a pair of two-run homers to tie the game and then take the lead. Brett Gardner hit a two-run shot in the sixth. Carlos Beltran, a two-run home run here in the seventh.
Dunn did a good job getting himself back into the count. He started the at-bat 3-0, got back to 3-2. Got a little too much plate on that fastball.
Yeah, those two-run homers have wiped out the 3-1 lead. that at one point the Marlins had.
Two and 0. And Dunn misses to Stephen Drew. It's like Carter Capps in Miami's bullpen. Chuck Hernandez calling to see if he's ready, and Mike Dunn walks Stephen Drew. Mason Williams now has a couple doubles in this ball game. And Dan Jennings is coming to get Mike Dunn. Dan Jennings will ask for the baseball. Carter Capps is coming in. This is a West Kendall Toyota call to the bullpen. Seventh. Carter Capps comes in to face the left-handed hitting Mason Williams.
You know, which tells you right there that Dan Jennings just didn't feel good about Mike Dunn out there, because Mason Williams a left-handed hitter and Mike Dunn obviously left-handed pitcher, but he just wanted to bring in a new arm, bring in Carter Capps. Didn't matter who was hitting, what side of the plate he was hitting from.
Capps is in, and he immediately checks Drew over at first. Now the long ball hurts the Marlins, and I don't want to say it comes from an unlikely source, because Carlos Beltran is hit 378 of them. But as a right-handed hitter in this ballpark, you don't really expect that out of Beltran. He hadn't homered yet from this side of the plate this year, but he up and blasts a fastball that caught a good part of the plate and a good part of Beltran's bat. It's 2-0. Carter Capps trying to come in and shut down this inning, and the Marlins get them back up, try to erase a two-run deficit. It was 1-0 Yankees from the first inning until the Marlins tied it with a run in the fourth, took the lead with a run in the fifth. Stanton homered in the sixth. It was 3-1 at that point. But the two-run homers brought the Yankees a 5-3 lead. And don't expect anyone in this crowd to get up and leave in the 8th inning, even if the Yankees score another 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, because Alex Rodriguez, with 2 hits tonight, is 1 away from 3,000. And he will hit, well, unless Drew gets picked off or something, he will hit in the 8th inning.
100 miles an hour. Wow. This guy's got a good arm.
You hear the buzz in the crowd. Lorne Michaels, Jimmy Fallon here.
See, they're not going to leave.
No, they can't leave. It's inside, and Cap's watching. Tonight is certainly, over the last 7 games leading into the night, this is not what the Marlins pitching staff, whether starters or relievers, have been about. The Marlins, in a 7-game stretch leading into this one, had a ERA, starters and relievers combined, of 1.60, and hitters were hitting just 177 against them. Miami went 5-2 in those 7 games.
It all starts with pitching, especially that starting pitcher. Getting the rhythm of the game going properly, getting deep into the game, trying to keep that bullpen out of it.
That one pops out of the glove of Mathis. 100 miles an hour is hard to catch when it's above your head.
You're right. He's just really rushing through his delivery right now and getting underneath the baseball, which is making him push it and just making him move out of the zone.
Yeah, when you're down in that crouching position, to come up on a 100-mile-an-hour pitch, yeah, that's not easy to do.
Especially one that's tailing out of the zone.
Probably a wild pitch. Yeah.
Thankfully, not a separated shoulder. Two and 0. Gardner's blast was just over the fence and into the Yankee bullpen. He probably hit it about 385 feet. Here's a look.
Yeah, you know, we thought that was a fastball. That looked like a changeup that he left over the plate. And you hate to see that late in the game getting beat by your 3rd or 4th pitch, because he had a lot of success with expanding the zone with his breaking ball. And he went with that changeup, just left it up in the zone to a guy that, you know, naturally is not going to turn on a fastball in that position.
Now that's a fastball.
Yeah.
And it's another triple digits for Carter Capps.
I always wondered how it'd feel to be able to throw 100 miles an hour, how it felt to go to the field that day knowing that you were going to let go some pitches triple digits. Probably pretty exciting.
Well, we'll see another guy in Cincinnati, Aroldis Chapman.
Yep.
And he blows them away at 99. But the New York Yankees, from one of their veterans, get a 2-run homer. Carlos Beltran. 5-3 Yanks. Saturday Spectacular on the 27th of June. The Dodgers at 4:10. Pick up all you can eat seats for just $35 or get the new Giancarlo Stanton G-Squad package. Say that 3 times fast for just $27. Includes a limited edition G-Squad arm sleeve. Go to Marlins.com. Secure your seats today. Chris Young in right. Carlos Beltran's work is done. And the hard-throwing, stylish lefty, Justin Wilson.
Yeah, we saw Shreve, we saw Wilson both pitch in the game last night as well.
Strike to D. Gordon. 2 hits for Gordon. Marlins have seen nothing but lefties tonight. CC Sabathia, Chasen Shreve, Justin Wilson.
Boy, D. Gordon would like to get things started. Right now, 14 3-hit games. If he gets another base hit, he'll have 15 3-hit games already.
He's been everything the Marlins wanted when they made that trade. Bringing that speed on the bases, setting the bases for the guys.
Not to mention, of all the second basemen in Major League Baseball, his defensive numbers are the best. Defensive runs saved, he's #1 among all second basemen. He's #3 among all defenders.
We've seen him range up the middle. We've seen him range to his left. We've seen him turn double plays. We've seen him leap in the air.
Great athlete. And he's got Perry Hill behind him. It's always a plus when you got a guy like that helping you out.
Wilson misses down low. Perry Hill, first base coach. Infield coach. Gordon trying to get aboard. And he hits it hard into center field. And there's a 3-hit night for D. Gordon.
Wow. Just continues to do it. 2 balls, base hits. He pulled that when he goes up the middle.
Yeah, didn't try to do too much with that pitch. Just right up the middle. Stay right inside of it. Nice compact swing, short. Not a bad pitch either. Left on left. That's not easy to do.
So D. Gordon with that base hit now has 99 on the year.
And his average up to 357. He started at 352. Here is Echeverria. For Echeverria, it's been a frustrating night. He is 0 for 3, and all 3 have been strikeouts. And
I think he's happy to see a different pitcher.
You know, you wonder too, Tommy. We've talked about that. It shouldn't be this way. And on paper, it's not this way. But psychologically, when you move from the 8th spot, and all of a sudden you're hitting second, and you got Yelich and Stanton behind you.
You wonder if he's pressing a little bit. He has been aggressive. I mean, almost every at bat he swung first pitch.
If you talk to hitting coaches, if you talk to major league hitters, they'll tell you that the psychology of the batting order is real, and it's something you have to overcome when you get moved around.
He did have a game recently. It was against the Rockies where he led off, and he had a 3-hit game in that game, but the struggles continue for Etch here.
0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. And here is Yelich. So the Yankee pitchers combined have struck out 9. 4 of them are named Echeverria. Yelich.
Is that Betances getting ready for Joe Girardi?
My guess would be.
No, it's not.
My guess would have been yes, but upon closer review, Sergio Santos. You know, it may be, Hut, last night.
Well, they used him last night.
And they used him for more than one inning.
Yeah.
So either they want him for just an inning or maybe he's got the night off. We'll see as we creep closer to the ninth. Remember, Alex Rodriguez has 2 hits tonight. He is 1 shy of 3,000. And Rodriguez is due up second in the bottom of this inning. And no one's budging, no one's rushing for the exits, despite a late Yankee lead. Stands on deck. You wonder if Santos is ready for Stanton. And Yelich takes out.
96. Does anyone throw under 95 out of the pen anymore?
No.
Left side,
You hear
right
that a
side.
lot. You hear that a lot in conversations about how tough it is to hit nowadays, because you look at bullpens around baseball. Most bullpens have 2, 3, 4 guys who all throw 95 plus.
Oh.
Count is full. 1 out. Gordon's at first. Stanton's on deck. He is homered tonight, his 25th of the season. And Yelich strikes out. So Wilson struck out Echeverria. He struck out Yelich. It was against Sabathia. Our HH Greg high def highlight. Giancarlo Stanton went down and got one and lost it. Santos is ready, the right-hander in the bullpen, but it's the lefty Wilson that pitches to Stanton and misses down low. Wilson is not allowed a run in his last 10 appearances. Stanton sprays a ground ball to Shera. To the bag, and Miami is done in the 8th. 5-3 Yankees. Alex Rodriguez 1 shy of 3,000. And he's coming up in the bottom of the 8th. 5-3, Yankees on top. Tonight's cold, hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Milestones all time against the Marlins. 16 players have their 1,000th hit. 3 players their 2,000th hit. Ken Griffey Jr. got his 600th home run. 6 pitchers recorded 1,000 strikeout. And Randy Johnson got his 3,000th strikeout. But no one has ever recorded 3,000 hits at the Marlins' expense. That could change tonight. Alex Rodriguez is 1 hit away from that. And he is on deck. No one in this crowd of 38,239 has budged. Sam Dyson is in, and he takes over for Carter Capps. And a first pitch strike to Chase Headley, who was 2 for 4. The Yankees have banged out a dozen hits and have a 5-3 lead. Rodriguez, 2 of those hits. He's 2 for 4. Both have been singles. That one is pulled foul. The game in which Miami led 3-1 after Giancarlo Stanton homered in the 6th. And that lead disintegrated pretty quickly. Brett Gardner, a 2-run homer, the last guy that Matt Latos faced. That was in the 6th. And then Carlos Beltran from the right side of the plate, a 2-run homer in left center field off of Mike Dunn. That was in the 7th. D. Gordon, a 3-hit night. One-two is fouled off. Cameras at the ready.
Get it on Zoom, get it on video maybe.
Teammates on the rail. Fastball that didn't miss by much. Headley, one of those hitters that crowds the plate. 2-2. Full count. And he lost him. And here comes Rodriguez. Celebrities, Yankee fans, coming to their feet. He is 1 short of 3,000 hits. Fastball in, and it's 1-0. The only Yankee to ever get 3,000 hits in a Yankee uniform, Derek Jeter. July 9th, 2011.
Right now, Dyson really struggling with command of his fastball. You see how much it's moving. Those last two really tailed inside.
He walked Headley. He's 2-0 on Alex Rodriguez. At 39, Rodriguez. That's in as well. And it's 3-0. All the Yankees on the rail. And misses again. And the crowd doesn't appreciate it. Rodriguez walks.
He's just really having a tough time right now getting that cross corner.
Yeah, the bottom line, you still have to try to keep it a 2-run game.
Yeah.
And I tell you, Dan Jennings and Chuck don't appreciate it either. A lot of fans are going to file out after that ball 4.
So this is what they meant by a Bronx cheer.
So does that mean we have to apologize for the entire crowd here?
No. Just listen. A visit from Jeff Mathis. Well, he couldn't throw strikes to Chase Headley. You know, he didn't want to walk the leadoff guy. And then he couldn't throw a strike to Alex Rodriguez. And here's Teixeira. In the dirt.
A little more of that Bronx cheer, Rich.
Well, Yankee fans know that the Tigers are here tomorrow night, and Alex Rodriguez will be in the lineup. And they'll have 24 hours to promote and sell tickets. And you would hope there'll be more than 38,000 for that game tomorrow night on a Friday night. That's a little looper. It's trouble if it's fair, and it's foul.
So it's Alfredo Simon tomorrow night for the Tigers against Adam Warren.
Hard throwing righty.
Yeah, you got to hand it to Rodriguez. 2 hits last night, 2 hits tonight. As you guys pointed out, and Tommy, I think your description of it early was accurate going back to last night. Alex wasn't up there trying to swing for the fences. He was up there just content to hit line drive after line drive, and that's what he's done. Yeah. Even the ball he hit for an out his last time up that Stanton caught was a really good line drive. Maybe the best ball he's hit these last 2 nights. Stanton caught it in deep right center. And now Dyson misses in and tight to Teixeira. Teixeira to left. Yelich there, and he makes a running catch. Boy, that kid can get there in a hurry. He has a great first step and terrific closing speed, and that's one of the reasons he's a Gold Glover.
Yeah, he sure can. I mean, he fills up gaps. He gets to the line. The strides are long and smooth, and just a terrific play once again by Christian Yelich.
Brian McCann now. Into center, McCann. Headley scores. Rodriguez to third. And Brian McCann makes Sam Dyson pay for the wildness.
Look at the move of Gabe Morales, second base umpire. That ball right between his legs. Brian McCann has had a nice night. That's his third base hit of the evening. And you're right, he does make Dyson pay for the walks.
Yeah, McCann 3 for 4. Fans are still on Dyson. They wanted to see Rodriguez get a shot at 3,000. Chris Young, remember Young came in defensively in right field. Chris Young has what always has been a tantalizing package of power and speed. 6-3 Yankees. Oh, and 2. Carl Pavano, I would expect the next 24 hours, if this lead holds, or if the Yankees don't bat around and Rodriguez comes up again, you would think in the next 24 hours there'll be all kinds of buzz and a lot of chatter, not only about, hey, come on out and see Alex Rodriguez go for 3,000, but just the different emotions that fans feel. And now Dyson goes all the way to the screen. Mathis will hold on to it. Rodriguez scores. (7-3) Yankees.
There are times that Sam Dyson comes on and he looks unhittable. There are other times he comes out and you're just not sure who it is. I mean, the velocity's there, but he's all over the place tonight. And mainly that release point just isn't where he wants it.
I don't know that he could run for borough chief here in the Bronx anytime soon. Chris Young. And the Yankees get another. McCann scores. (8-3).
And he may be out there because the other thing, Dan Jennings doesn't want to have to use somebody else out of the bullpen. He may have to.
He's used Mike Dunn.
Now listen to this ovation as Dyson comes out.
He's used Carter Capps, and Dyson will exit. Vin Mazzaro in, Sam Dyson out. Wes Kendall Toyota called to the pen. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Carl Pavano has been with us through the night, returning to the new Yankee Stadium. And it's time for you to head down and join Craig Minervini for Marlins Live. But you know what? We have a fine parting gift for you.
I need another bobblehead.
A Thurman Munson bobblehead.
Munson,
I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun.
It was.
Appreciate
You'll get a copy of our home game as well. We'll send that along, too.
Now, this is not like a call to the bullpen.
No,
You're just going to go down and join
I hope
Craig.
I fit on the seat that they give me down there.
Yeah, your partner took a shot at you down there.
That's all he does. It's all right. I'm gonna bring some shaving cream.
He's unnerved. Craig is unnerved being in Yankee territory with Met bloodlines. D.D. Gregorius in the center field. Young had to hold at second. He wasn't sure that was dropping in.
I'm just thinking something really odd and funny at the same time as you see the numbers of Vin Mazzaro. All those Yankee fans that left, we saw them filing out when A-Rod walked. What if the Yankees bat around and he comes up again?
That's true. All right. Stephen Drew. Well, there's one out. Rodriguez, that one pulled foul, is 4 hitters away. So they'd have to keep doing damage.
They're up there swinging, that's for sure.
A ball and a strike. New York has banged out 15 hits. And everybody but this man has one. Carl Pavano, Craig Minervini, Checkers Marlins Live. A look back at the night. Alex Rodriguez, a couple of hits. He's one shy of 3,000. Vin Mazzaro. Now I think, Tommy, the Yankee fans are getting your angle there.
Subways may be trying to put it in reverse.
Are you allowed back in after you leave? I don't think so.
To left, tagging at third is Young, and he will score. So a big inning is the 8th for the Yankees. Four runs here in the 8th.
Right now, Rich, there's some indecision and a logjam on the George Washington Bridge, too.
That's every day, Tommy.
Well, that's true, too. Yeah.
Here's Mason Williams.
Oh, this inning's really gotten out of hand with the bullpen. 2 of the walks scoring, single, double, 3 hits. A lot of runners on here for this lineup.
For Sam Dyson, 4 runs, all of them earned. Dyson got just an out. He walked 2 and did not strike out a hitter, gave up the 2 hits.
Now the bullpen, unfortunately, tonight wasn't their night. Bullpen gave up 6 hits and so far 6 runs.
And Matt Latos gave up the first 3. Mike Dunn was charged for the 2. Those coming on the Carlos Beltran homer. Out to short. Echeverria gets the out. And a long inning is done. 4 runs for the Yankees, chasing Carl Pavano out of the booth.
I'm out of here.
See ya.
Thanks,
See ya,
guys.
Pap.
We'll see ya.
Florida is brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers. By Kubota. For more information to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by the Florida Department of Transportation. Drive sober or get pulled over. A tight game has burst wide open in the Bronx. And the Yankees with a 9-3 lead here. Chris Martin will try to finish it for the Yankees. The Marlins won 2 in Miami. The Yankees winners last night. Tight game, 2-1 game. And have busted this one out to a 9-3 lead. And the crowd has figured it out that unless the Marlins score 6 runs, Alex Rodriguez ain't getting another shot at 3,000 until tomorrow night when the Yankees host the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, it was a tough game because it was there for the taking. The big hit, the 2-run homer that tied it, that Brett Gardner hit in the 6th inning. That was the last batter that Matt Latos would face.
Marcell Ozuna. Jeff Baker, Justin Bourne. Actually, Ichiro has pulled in on deck, and he will hit for Baker.
Yeah, you mentioned the two-run homers. Mentioned one by Gardner. Then in the 7th inning, off Mike Dunn, hitting from the right side, Carlos Beltran, a 2-run shot.
One and 2. Ball in the dirt. So, in the battle of the Easts, American League versus National League, it looks like this will be a split, Marlins and Yankees. The Rays are an out away from taking out the Nationals in D.C. 5-3. Boston 5-2 in Atlanta in the 8th. The Mets split with the Blue Jays, 2 apiece. The Blue Jays won both in Toronto. 7-1 was the final tonight. And the Phillies, a 2-1 win over Baltimore.
See where Freddie Freeman missed the game. He had a streak, 234 consecutive games. Had a hand injury, a wrist injury, and did not play tonight for Atlanta.
Full count, 3-2. Cubs in Cleveland, 3-3 in Cleveland, and that's midway through the 5th inning. Not sure if they had a weather delay in Cleveland.
Yeah, they did.
They did. Well,
yeah,
Cincinnati,
they were in a delay for a while.
Cincinnati was rained out tonight. Obviously, that's where the Marlins are headed. So stay hot with the weather. Marlins' last road trip ran into a lot of rain everywhere they went in Colorado, which affected the games with delays. Here's Ichiro. It's a small world, baseball is. You've got Alex Rodriguez, who is now 1 shy of 3,000, and the next guy on the list behind him is their favorite player, Ichiro. $2,885 is Ichiro, so he's whittled his quest for 3,000 down to 115 hits. Ichiro used to get that in 2 months, 3 months, actually.
Well, what was it? The year he set the record, he had 262.
262. Yeah, 3 months worth of hits for Ichiro at the time. And Ichiro last night in the ball game had a single in the 8th inning. There were people all around that guy when it began, and just an inning ago. You know, the one dynamic that's very different here at the new Yankee Stadium as opposed to the old Yankee Stadium is the seats behind home plate and stretching all the way down past the dugouts. That bouncer to third, and that's going to be a base hit.
No chance at all.
There you go.
For Chase Headley, you stay around, you get a sign, you bring the sign, and you see your favorite player get a base hit.
So Ichiro has a base hit. The different Hut, there you go. There he is. He's next active behind Alex Rodriguez. So one of the differences I noticed in it, and it struck me as Sam Dyson came off the field, everyone was booing. 38,000 wanted to jump down his shirt, but they couldn't get that close to him because from beyond the dugouts, 8 rows up, it's a club seats. You have to have the golden ticket, so to speak.
You got to be a high roller.
You got to be a high roller to get in those first. I think they're like 8 rows. The 8 rows of seats, and then the next seats. I mean, it used to be that, you know, fans were up on that dugout and down on that rail. Justin Bour crosses up the shift.
Hey, by the way, good to see Justin Bour last at bat, this at bat, get a couple of base hits. He came into the game just 3 for 37. So good job up the middle, and then that base hit there, that'll help as he heads into Cincinnati.
Here's Derek Dietrich.
You do get a different feel in this Yankee Stadium compared to the old Yankee Stadium.
Not as raucous.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to put it.
So Dietrich hits here. There's one out. Miami's down 6 here in the 9th. Been a good week for Derek Dietrich, even though he was 0 for 4 last night. Had 2 really nice games in Miami and 2 Marlin wins over the Yankees. We talked about it in Miami, though. The Yankees are a very different team, it seems, at home offensively than on the road. Look out, Lenny.
I guess the first close call Lenny's had since he's taken over at third base.
Couldn't expect that from a left-handed hitter.
No, that's the last thing he was expecting from Dietrich. He's all right.
If the Yankees win this game, they'll have won 9 of 10 here at Yankee Stadium, 9 of their last 10. And right now, if you add up the runs scored and the runs given up in those 10 games, the Yankees have outscored their opponents 66-25. Three and 1 to Dietrich.
Got a feeling Derek Dietrich's going to have a good rip if he gets a fastball here from the right-hander, Chris Martin, excuse me. Had Justin Wilson in the inning before.
Jimmy Fallon bailed. Lorne Michaels bailed. Wonder if Reggie's still here.
No.
Up the middle. Gregorius gets it. Oh, wow. Didi Gregorius steals a hit from Dietrich and gets the out with Drew covering. That's a super play.
That really is. That's highway robbery there. It looks like it's going up the middle. Then once he catches it, you figure, well, he's not going to get an out. And Stephen Drew comes over, the backhand flip, and Drew barehands it. I mean, it'll go as a 6'4" fielder's choice, but boy, it was so much more than that. It's a tremendous play by Didi Gregorius. It's an Amezaga type flip, but maybe not quite as far.
Jeff Mathis bangs one into left field. That's a base hit. Ichiro scores. Dietrich ends up at second. And for Mathis, his second RBI. And that brings up D. Gordon. It also brings Larry Rothschild out from the Yankee dugouts. Obviously, if you're D. Gordon, you just want to keep the line moving. You want to try to get a few more runners on. Maybe get Yelich and Stanton up there. And this is a guy that the Yankees did not want to have to get up. And reluctantly, Betances deliberately starts to loosen up.
Yeah, an inning and 2/3 last night. Yeah, you're right. I'm sure they didn't want to even have him out there soft tossing to this point.
Joe Girardi gets ready for the Tigers. One and 0 to Gordon. Triple, single, single. 3 triples to go with 13 doubles. Lenny's looking down like, what is this?
You guys are picking on me here in this inning.
Well, Lenny's got a runner at second, so he's got to be on that home plate side of the bag. And Gordon knocks that one up into the seats the other way. Now Lenny gets a little further. 1-2 to D. Gordon. Chris Martin trying to end it for the Yankees. And he misses away. Two. Down he goes, and the Yankees win it. So the 4-game series is a 2-2 split. Giancarlo Stanton hit his 25th. Alex Rodriguez had 2 more hits. He is 1 shy of 3,000. All of this will be discussed and shown. Discuss amongst yourself on Marlins Live.